Welcome, everybody, back to Larry Hankin Live. It is the Collider Live. We are going to be very excited because from El Camino, Friends, and his upcoming book, The Loophole Dossier, it is Larry.
Dossier. The Loopholes
Dossier.
Dossier.
Oh, you know what? You know why?
Because it looks like
Dossier there.
A little bit.
Yeah. Dossiers. Excuse me. It doesn't right here? Doesn't look.
Well, you also wrote over it.
Yeah, there.
Bit.
Look at my notes.
I mean, I think you have bad eyes,
because
but
of your pen.
I have horrendous eyes.
Yeah,
my eyes are so
Dossier
bad.
is also not a word.
Probably not. But how the fuck do I know what the book is? Could be anything. You know what? There's a lot of
The Loopholes Dossier.
Yeah, Shibadadoosh isn't a word, but if you put the Harloff Shibadadoosh is the name of my book, then it's a fucking
point.
I
yeah.
feel like it could be a type of dog.
A Dossier, yeah.
Dossier.
The Loopholes Dossier makes a lot more
it.
sense. It's a satirical book of comic fables. I'm glad I said it here as opposed to when he is on the show.
Yeah.
Like
the Loophole. Hey, Larry, welcome to. So you wrote a book, Loopholes Dossier, huh?
He goes, no, moron.
Yeah.
It's a dossier.
I was just watching an interview with him where somebody was like, "Oh, you on Friends, Mr. Hanksler," and he was like, "That wasn't the name of my character. Let's move forward." He handled it pretty well, though.
You guys ever seen that
Liam? Come on.
Yeah,
You guys
they
ever seen
messed it up.
that interview with Liam Neeson where I think he's like, it's on a news station and it's like a Skype kind of a situation, so he can't really see the person, and it's before the interview starts, so they're recording, right? But it's not live on TV yet, and he's like, "So did you see the movie?" And the guy's like, "I did not, I didn't." And Liam Neeson, "This is gonna be fucking great," and then it's like, and we're here with Liam Neeson. Dude, it is
awesome.
awesome.
Well, the other one I saw similar to that was Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig it was the Skeleton Twins.
Yeah.
And the guy was asking him questions, and it definitely wasn't the movie. And Bill Hader's like, "Did you see the movie, guy?" Like it was pretty good.
I feel like Tobey Maguire probably should have said that to me during the phone sex.
He's way too serious. He's an angry dude.
He's an angry elf.
I remember when he gets angry. Anyway, so it's going to be a good show today, and yes, don't worry if just to let people know, this is the first time
They're coming in
that
hot
you've
already
ever,
in your head.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
If you've never watched this show before, and this is the first time because you saw the title, here's how this show works. When we start the show, we are friends and we like to talk and see what's going on with everybody and hanging out and telling the stories and things like that and having a good old time here. And then we talk about a couple other things. And then right around, we say around 11 o'clock or so is when we talk about whatever might be in the title. So if you're coming in there and you look like you're ready to blow up a Death Star because you're not hearing things talked about that you think, just to let you know, that's kind of how the show works. # that's the show. So if you want to scream and yell, take a pillow, scream as loud as you can, then come back at 11 o'clock. But other than that, let's talk.
I love that brief. I think I speak for the audience, Christian. Shut your mouth and speak a Star Wars.
I know, seriously. It's like, when are you going to talk about Camino?
So, I totally forgot. I mean, this is where my mind is that if Star Wars, whatever. I saw that the Patriots were smoking the Jets. I'm like, this is the worst.
Thank you.
So I totally forgot it was coming on at halftime. So I threw on the Deuce, which is probably criminally underrated. Yeah.
That's the James Franco one?
Yeah. Next week is the series finale. The penultimate episode was unbelievable. And so I'm watching that and I was like, oh, shoot! The trailer. So I go on YouTube and I watch it, and the first thing I tweet was "No Ewoks." I'm heartbroken, and then I scroll down to the next tweet, and Ellis had tweeted like the same thing 45 minutes before. And I was like,
You're like, damn it!
Fuck!
Yeah.
Sorry, man. I got a text. I was like, I didn't steal your tweet. It's
Oh,
my bad.
he texted you?
No, I texted
Oh,
him.
okay.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I can't imagine him texting you about that. But
I don't know
again,
what's going on, to be
Not
honest
talking
with you.
about the trailer yet until we get into it. But I knew it was coming on. I was taping the game. Definitely not going to watch the Patriots.
Thank you.
Yeah, they just I just can't. I'm starting to hate them more than any other team. But as we're watching it, my daughter goes, "Oh, the Jets, New York Jets," and I go,
Nope.
Nah.
And she watches. She goes, "They kind of stink, Dad."
Yeah.
I go, "They stink,
Real bad.
real bad." And
Does she love the Jets?
she's a Giants fan.
New
She's in New York.
Oh.
And although she broke my heart yesterday on we're getting back to this Dodgers conversation again too. She's
Now
like,
Dodgers and Yankees.
she's like,
man.
Dad,
Jeez.
she goes, "You're from." She's like, "You're from New York." She's like, "I'm
not
not."
this stupid argument.
She's like, "I'm not." She's like, I really want to root for the Dodgers. I go, "You can." I go, they blew it in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, my
sure
brother
did.
has brainwashed his children in a great way of like, this is the only color that we wear in this home,
Right.
is black and yellow.
Yeah.
So if you want to root
Black
for
and
another
yellow,
team,
black
well,
and
like they
yellow,
root for
black and yellow.
Well, he's from Pittsburgh. Wiz
Yeah.
Khalifa's from Pittsburgh. They root for the Warriors because Pittsburgh doesn't have an NBA team. So you can root for the Warriors all you want. But in this house on Sundays, we root for the Steelers. When we root for the Penguins, and we root for the Pirates. And that is it. If one more person in Los Angeles tells me, well, you live here now, you can root for... It's not how it fucking works.
I know, but my daughter is 8.
She was born in Los Angeles.
I know.
I'll give her the benefit of the
that's
doubt.
what I said to her.
If Roxy went home and she was like, hey, just so you guys know, I have a National League team now, and it's the Dodgers.
Right.
Your friends would punch you.
I wouldn't be friends with them.
Correct.
Yeah. Right. Well,
Thank you.
Right. That's a different thing. Although my brother though is now a hardcore Tampa Bay Rays fan, way more than Yankees.
Really?
But I'll also give him the fact that he went to high school in Tampa. He's lived there now for a long time, and they're in the same division. That you start.
That's tough.
You start to get pushed into, and he had season tickets. He went to the World Series, so you start to get pushed, and you have to make that decision, as opposed to Dodgers and National League, Yankees, and. So it's all.
Have your brother Cullen. I will get in his ear hole about it because that is what we call in my home traitorous behavior.
I know my mother. My mother loved you before. Now you're going to have a statue in our house because she's like,
make it out of you silly.
She says it on the other day. She's like, you're a traitor.
Yeah.
She's like, your father wrote. What does he do? Does he root for both of them? I remember he's a big Yankee fan. Was he not a Yankee fan? Was he like the Tampa Bay too? He's like, look at you. You're wearing the Tampa Bay stuff.
Same division.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
It's a friggin' fish.
I know. But anyway, so going
I'm
back
not even
to
a Yankees fan. Now I'm all worked up.
You're going back to the president. That's what you're doing. But if we're getting ready for halftime, and my wife says, "Why are you turning the TV on now? The kids gotta go sleep. I got the Star Wars trailers on." She's like, "That's the Ray thing." She likes the Ray story. So
there it is.
She's like, "Okay, I want to watch." So my wife sits down with me. The 2-year-old goes, "Star Wars, Star Wars,"
Nice,
and jumps into my lap with just a diaper on, just like waiting for Star Wars, right?
That's great.
And to which my wife says, "Nice imagery to show a 2-year-old." I go, she didn't care. Right? And then my daughter, obviously the 8-year-old, sitting there. So we all watched the trailer together, and you get to hear about it at 11 o'clock.
Oh, that's what we call a tease.
Anything else that happened exciting with you, Ryan? What'd you do last night?
Well, we did.
Take a big old dump?
What?
Take it down.
It's no. That would go off my schedule. It's the morning time or
morning
bust.
constitution.
We did a trailer reaction for Rule of Two. We did a show,
that
so it went great. A lot of
So
people
would you
in
stay
there.
here?
We
last
stayed.
night?
We stayed late.
Jeez.
We stayed late, and then we have something special coming. We shot something afterwards,
Which is awesome.
Which is going to be kind of ridiculous. But
Is it another
more
lightsaber
on like
battle?
that. What's that?
Another lightsaber battle?
No.
Okay.
I can't really say other than there's
things.
there's something happening. Fernandez can speak more on it
There's no air
later.
conditioning happening. Roxy, how do you
we
do?
got to do it.
Actually, not bad. Sorry.
You saw a movie last night.
I did.
Oh.
But there's an
What'd you
embargo.
see?
When's the embargo
Yeah,
lift?
4 p.m. I think.
What'd you see?
She saw Terminator.
Oh,
She can't say anything.
Yeah.
There's
Every-
reactions
every-
out
There's
there.
reactions. I'll just
I
tell you
saw.
that friend of the show, John Rocca, loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I saw a lot
Roxy
of
can't
tweets.
say shit.
Every tweet started the exact same way. Best since T2. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, we
Again,
went over that
not-
yesterday.
not hard to do.
I hate
not a
that
big
tweet.
Yeah.
I think
It's
that tweet is ridiculous.
It's just not hard to do. But you hope it would
Yeah,
be.
I have so many thoughts.
Well, I
That's
guess-
good.
Yeah.
About
Give
the
me an
movie or just
emotional
in general?
state.
Yeah, the movie.
Yeah. Oh, she got lost, and we didn't even talk about that today.
Ooh.
I'm proud of you, though. I'm proud of you.
You still didn't do the thing, did you? You're still following the stupid ways.
No,
Oh.
I did it on my maps because I got lost and I tried with Siri.
No, you had the address.
I don't know where I ended up.
But
it
you had
was
the address,
So,
you gave the zip code
It was
and
like
everything?
industrial, and it was like an industrial park.
Oh, like over in like Glen Oaks, kind of like near the golf course over there in Pacoima?
She has no idea. Come on.
I literally don't know what you just said.
Yeah, she was in Pittsburgh.
Is Glen Oaks Glendale?
No.
No.
Okay, so
That's-
I
it's
really
the
don't know
boulevard
what
up
you're
there.
talking
Glendale
about.
has some industrial parkish kind of places.
I looked over and it said on the sign industrial.
Let me ask you a question. Where would you be right now?
Just said industrial.
That's why I figured I was
if
in
there was
somewhere
if all
industrial.
the technology in the world went out tomorrow, where would you be right now? do you think? In the woods?
I would say home.
You would stay home. You wouldn't
Yeah,
leave your house.
I mean I can't. Like I literally.
But if you had to go somewhere, you'd probably
Do you know-
you'd probably be lost right now.
Yeah. I pulled over to text Riley because I was like, fuck. I don't know what to do. Because the nav kept looping me back to the freeway entrance, which was closed.
Yeah.
So I had to on purpose drive far enough away for it to reroute me somewhere else.
So how do you know? This is so. But,
That's good.
but
That's
this is
good.
but-
That's a good move, though.
But I
I
asked,
just picked a direction and was like,
I
all
asked this
right.
question for real because I want to know how your brain works.
Yeah.
Because it's hard for you. Like if you didn't have you in your
Makes me
phone,
happy.
getting out of here to drive onto Burbank Boulevard Olive would be tough, right?
That's on the right. I know where that is.
Okay, so could you get to Warner Brothers without? Would you get to Warner Brothers studio without?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so
where's that?
Right.
I mean,
On all.
that's near Doghouse.
Okay,
if I was at Doghouse, I could get
But you
to
know how
Warner
to get,
Brothers.
and this is
It's across the street.
And I swear to God, I'm
well,
asking
I've done
this.
that before, so I know I could do it.
But I'm asking this for real because I want to know how it processes, right?
Yeah.
You know how to, if you walked out of here right now, you know how to get to Yard House.
yeah,
To walk to Yard House,
yeah,
and that's just repetition, right?
Yes,
And if you
yes.
could you walk further up? Could you get to AMC or even that Starbucks up there?
Okay, so I had to get to the Starbucks.
Yeah.
I did not know how to do that. I didn't know
So you-
there was one.
Okay, so you have a balance. There's only.
but I
it's
did
like a
figure
goldfish.
it out.
So it's like a goldfish. You only have a certain range,
Yeah.
and
I
then it
guess
times
so.
out.
But here's what I can.
It's the first time in a while.
If I've been somewhere a bajillion times from A to B, I can usually get from A to B if it's within like 5 miles.
Okay, but then it just shuts down.
I can't get here.
Do you try though? Because you're
Yeah.
studious.
Okay, if there was no traffic at all, I could get here. Like if no other cars were on the road, I know
Why is
one
that?
way
What's
to
the
get
difference?
here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I don't know another way.
But what I'm asking is, do you think it's because you rely on that too much?
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
if you started to try to
this
do
has
it.
been my whole life. I've never had a car
Right.
and not had a nav.
Well, that's right, because you're young.
Do you know what a Thomas guide is?
I think we've
Is it a
been
map?
over this, right?
Yeah, so like
So
back
that's-
in the
that,
day.
that was Siri, basically.
I had
back in
I
the
had a
day, it was
Garmin.
Siri.
Is that similar?
And you had to
No,
take
no,
this big
it was a
stupid
map.
thing out.
It was
Yeah,
literally
big,
map.
it was
So
big,
the
yeah.
day I got a car, I got a Garmin. So I have never
Ralph
not.
Garman? Was
Yeah.
Ralph Garman
No, you
sitting
guys
in
know
his-
what a Garmin is?
Yeah,
It was the first
also know
run
Yeah,
Right.
of the GPS
I've
stuff.
never not had a GPS.
Let me ask
but
you-
that's not fair because I'm sure Cody's never not had one and he could get somewhere. So it's a me problem.
No,
it's
I
not
get
a
it.
my generation problem.
Is so did you do your study abroad in college? Have you ever been to like a foreign country and had to like get your way around
Yeah,
without a
pretty good at that.
What the
Interesting. Interesting.
Well, pretty good at like if I am on my feet. I'm not good at north, south, east, west, east. That I'm not good at.
fuck? Northeast, south, and west.
But
Never eat soggy
because
Mars.
I'm so afraid of being somewhere, like I was like, okay, 4 paces to the left, one, yeah, like I'm good at memorizing things like that. So I was like, so I went like that.
Yeah,
Never eat
congratulations.
soggy waffles.
But you made
Or
it.
worse.
I'm glad. I'm proud of you.
I think it really threw me off now that the ocean's on the west.
I have something though that I think that is before we get into anything else, though, Roxy.
Here we go.
I want to get to this video that Riley put in here. This is important stuff that's happening. Cody, on the end of the breakdown, the very last video, because we don't talk about this stuff normally, and I think it's very positive that we talk about it.
It's the feel good story
It
that
is,
I
yeah,
think
the
will
last
get
one.
people
Yeah. So let's-
excited.
Can we? Let's go ahead.
I hate what you're doing.
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and play this, please. This is very, very
This is-
important.
no.
Thank you. Thank you. One more time with that bulldog, please. It's very important. We don't show bulldogs enough on this show. Here. Attaboy. Attaboy. Good stuff. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Listen, he's got to do what he's going to do. One more time. Good boy. Good boy.
Do you think that's a real sound?
Oh, you kidding me?
That's
Look, I mean, look at the size of this fucking
Yeah,
animal.
I can do the same thing.
Look, his asshole opens up on the way over. Yeah. He's giving it. It's like a muscle. Look at it. Look at it when he goes up. Look at him. Look at his face. He's really happy.
You're combining two of my non-favorite things.
Look how
Here's
happy.
the funny thing is that he pauses to do it. You see his little tail shake.
Yeah, and then he moves. He doesn't even know. He didn't know he farted. The air smells like that. From time
Now
to
he
time.
gets up like he was like, oh, I gotta let one go.
What is hanging from him?
He got an extra push from that
His
fart.
balls, I think.
His tail.
But why are they gray?
His tail. He's old.
He's no pup.
He's old.
He's an
no
old,
puppy.
Yeah,
he's
look
an
at
old
his
guy.
face. But yeah, no, look at him. It's like your grandfather or something. He doesn't know.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Yeah. Just doing his thing. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, good for him. Good for him. That's good. What's that parrot doing up there, Cody? Yeah, let me listen to this parrot. What's that parrot doing? I don't know what this parrot's doing, but we're gonna find out.
Oh,
Oh.
craven ruggable.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's really disgusting. But look, good for that dog. What's this bird doing?
Mr. Max.
Yeah, Mr. Max TV. Oh, he's scratching himself. Nice.
He's thinking.
Look at this fucking bird.
Yeah.
Look at his eyes.
What is he looking at?
Uh-oh. Who was that?
Guys, that was me.
Oh.
What are we doing,
Is he-
Mr. Max?
Roxy, did you watch Walking Dead on Sunday?
Is he saying anything?
Yes.
Is it a new video?
I had to fast forward to the scary parts. That's the scariest episode they've
was
ever
excellent.
had. I screamed and I woke up Amanda.
I guess oh. Oh, how long is this? You know?
It's 5 minutes.
What is this?
I don't know how long is this. Way too long. Nah, I'm done with this video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did watch El Camino also. That was scary as crap too.
You thought El Camino was scary?
I thought it was incredibly scary. I had a really hard time watching it.
Really?
It was excellent. But
Why was it scary?
Don't run.
like
Did you not finish it yet?
Not yet.
real stuff is what makes me afraid. You guys know that.
All right.
Yes.
And it was just like horrifying because I just feel like I'm going to end up in
pretty
that
real.
position one day,
What? Running from a meth compound?
like kidnapped.
You think you're gonna? Well, it's possible that you're.
I know Cody so well. Cody's having such a kick out of this stupid
We're just gonna
thing.
leave this up.
It's a bird with a coffee cup. It's a bird. And now he's looking at the coffee. Now he's got a straw. Now he's got. Look at
that's a Q-tip.
Look, he's got a Q-tip. Look at this little fucking bird. He's got the Q-tip. He's
he ripped it. He's
That's
not happy.
adorable.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
he's
looking at you
just
now.
staring. Oh, and he looks pissed.
now
He's
he-
covering his mouth.
Do you guys think he's white or pink?
That's a pink.
Pinkish.
Yeah.
It's a pinkish hue, as George Costanza would
Josh,
say.
we have a nice pink bird who just jumped off the couch here.
Oh,
And he's,
now
just, he's chewing on the chair.
Oh, there's what is that?
It's
Monopoly
cash.
on the bottom?
Is that real money, Josh? I don't know what's
it
happening.
looks to be fake, Christian. It's possibly fake money.
Oh, he's scaling down like a fireman,
Oh,
Josh.
wow! It's like he's sliding down the pole. They are ready for a 5-alarm fire. He's got a lot of toys for a bird.
He's
A lot
making
of
his
toys.
move.
just
He
gonna
just
say,
cocked
yeah.
his head. He just cocked his head,
oh,
Josh.
oh,
He's gonna
oh,
make
he's
the move.
flapping wings.
He's gonna make the move.
Oh,
He's
oh.
hidden under Josh. It looks like he doesn't exactly have the courage yet, like he
Christian-
did back in
Oh, oh.
06.
Now it seems that he is one of those smart ass kind of birds. He got a lot of lip to the bird.
You gotta cook him in a pot.
Look, he climbs the chair like
There he goes. That was
like
good moves.
an angry 10-year-old in gym class. And
That move that he does with his head.
I'll tell you what,
Look at that.
he's
Good
going
move.
for it. Don't turn on the microwave. That affects birds. I'm not sure if you knew that.
They
Yes.
figure they're gonna get cooked.
Yes.
Well, thank you,
Roxy
Josh.
wants
Thank you.
You're
None
welcome.
of this.
You're welcome. Back to you in the studio,
Shocker.
Christian.
It's fine. Nobody's getting hurt, so I'm okay with
Oh,
it.
you're okay with it.
Yeah. It's just,
Oh, speaking of get hurt, did you see the Lady Gaga thing?
yeah.
What
Holy
happened?
shit.
She punched
That was over
somebody.
the weekend.
Can we find this?
no.
Lady Gaga. No, I don't want to tell you. No, don't say
Lady
anything.
Gaga?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about here, Cody?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Don't show Josh yet. I want to because let's get you.
I
caught
love
up to
her even
speed.
more now, though,
Yeah, for sure.
because you saw how she
The way it was
yeah.
handled afterwards, I thought it was pretty classy.
Yeah.
She's always badass.
Yeah, but this is something.
Yeah.
I mean, she went and stole her man
But
from some
So
supermodel.
pause it, Cody. Don't look yet, and can you blow it up,
They're
please?
dating.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're married.
All right, go ahead.
Bradley Cooper.
All right, I go back up. So she's grinding with this guy. Go back, Cody. She's grinding with the guy on stage. Yeah, she's grinding with this dude.
It's
and
a
this
fan.
Dopey
Get out
guy
of here.
falls on the
Oh,
stage,
no.
body slams her like the Dudley Boys back in the WWE. But she handled it. She was.
Boom.
Yeah. What is
Devon,
that
get the
conversation like that?
tables.
What is that conversation? Look at this angle.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I mean, this guy's having a time of his life for a second.
Oh, God.
What an idiot.
Oh.
She said,
Look at his head, the way it pops up here. He bounced ball. Gumby.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, what did she say, Rox?
"It takes two to tango. Please forgive yourself." And she said, asked the fans to be nice to him. And
Yeah.
Is she fine? Is she okay?
She's
she
okay.
got up and performed right after this.
no
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Badass. It's like
Yeah.
a hockey player. It's
Yeah.
sick.
And to his credit, when he falls, he realized, oh shit, he's holding on to her really tight.
Yeah.
There's
But
only
see,
so much you
that's
can do.
listen, if it's your first time on that stage, you don't know
You
that
don't
corner
know
is right there.
Yeah, his foot goes.
Like-
And look, he's holding on tight.
Oh, he hurt himself too.
Oh, he definitely hurt himself, but
Damn.
he's
I
holding
just
on-
saw the angle of that foot.
Yeah, and he was holding on tight because he's like, fuck, this is I have almost
I mean,
$1 billion on my hand right now.
A less credible. The bird's back, baby.
And
gotta name
now
him.
back to
Christian-
your regular
What is
scheduled
this
program.
video, though? Do you guys
I
think?
have no idea. It's
Like,
just,
he-
I guess he's got his
How
own
many
channel.
views does this have?
It's Mr.
How
Max
many views
TV.
does this
Duh.
have, Cody? 12 million.
It's 13 million views.
million?
And by the way, the last Schmodown just hit 20,000.
Oh, because we're not hearing. It's calling them bad names.
Apparently, but every time we turn it on, we don't hear anything.
Bad word again?
Not real.
You're not a sexy bird. You're a spoiled little brat.
Is that kids in the hall?
How the fuck does this thing have 13 million views?
What? Did you just say that word again? Is that what you said? Yeah, you're
creepy.
saying that bad word.
What's he saying?
I think he's calling him an asshole.
You're not a sexy bird.
Is this in Canada?
Right.
Oh, Cody,
Kinda sounds
can you
like-
please pull that sound clip?
All right, we'll see what I can do.
Not a sexy bird.
Did
I like it. I like it. Anyway, so
you guys have birds?
No.
I ate. I like
Did you
birds
have
to eat.
birds?
Yeah.
You had birds in
Yeah.
your home.
We had a bird, and it was a disaster because my dad is a believer in animal rights to the extreme, and so he wouldn't clip its wings. We had a bird live in our house.
Oh, it's like flew wherever.
We had a bird in our
I
home.
remember this. You told me about this.
And how
It
was
was
the
just a
cleanup?
fly. Just like fly through the middle
it
of
had a room. It had its own bedroom for at night, and it lived in our house in the daytime.
What was his name?
Sunny.
Okay.
You did not like that bird.
No, it was the fucking worst,
Yeah, I
and
could tell.
it died really young, and we believe our housekeeper poisoned
Because
it.
she was sick of it.
Cleaning the shit everywhere,
Okay, let me.
all over the house.
I'm gonna say something to you, and I hope you don't take this in a bad way. Okay, you know we
his
like to
hair.
have fun. He's got a good head of hair.
It's disgusting.
Okay, let's just say we were in high school. This is and
And I bring somebody home to hook up.
no, like so I'm like we meet or like we're in high school and I'd had a crush on you for a while and I'm like hey
Yeah.
whatever and you're like hey come over after school and we'll hang out or whatever and I walk in and there's a bird in your house. I'm like she's hot but I gotta go.
I don't
Yeah.
I think that. No, are you talking about you today or you 5 years ago?
I mean, I'm talking
Ever?
about me when I was in high school. I see a bird flying.
You're full
Dude,
of shit.
You have no idea my fear of
Are you
birds.
scared of
I
birds?
hate birds.
Are you scared of
It's
everything,
gross.
so-
Birds are
It's
gross.
disgusting. It's disgusting.
But you wouldn't avoid it. You wouldn't try to way to avoid it.
I'm like, this is
How hammered are you? Are you drunk?
I'm 16 years old after school. Maybe high.
I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it.
I will
I'm sorry.
tell you, I think it got me. It got me more action than less.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
That's where I was going
because
with this,
because,
yeah.
because now it becomes an adventure.
You want to come see my bird?
Yeah, well, yeah, then we can mean a lot of different things, but like,
The bird was disgusting. The bird
Yeah.
would wake me up in the morning.
How big was it?
that's
It was a cockatiel,
oh.
so small.
But you can avoid the room to see if it's not a killer bird.
No.
Did it ever like land on you?
Yes, all the
Fucking
time.
tippy
What?
headron
It
over
was
here.
fucking
What kind of
disgusting.
bird was it?
A
Cockatiel.
No, no, but what color? Sorry, what color bird? You literally just said cockatoo. What
It was
color?
green.
Green.
Bring up a green cockatoo. See what?
Cockatiel.
Cockatiel, whatever. See, because I'm wondering if it was the cockatoo from Zoobly Zoo.
It's not how you spell it, but I don't know. How
Cockatiel,
It,
that's
oh,
gonna
happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Images.
That's exactly what it looked like. The first.
That one. The first one. Or the second one.
If you go back.
That's a
how
cool
big it
looking
was?
bird.
Yeah. Well, it was probably the size of.
Look at that, like
a
that.
little- No, go back.
Oh.
Go back to the original search. Yeah, like
That
that
one.
exactly.
Let's see.
It's
Yeah, he's not as he's not
And
as
his name
good.
was Sunny.
Yeah.
and he laid eggs.
Oh, he
so
did.
it was a she. We found out.
Oh wow. So with babies? No babies?
No, because
Did you
there's
eat 'em?
nothing to fertilize it.
Did you eat the eggs? Can
No,
you, like,
we did
fry 'em
not
up?
eat. We did not eat the eggs, but they would be around our house.
Oh wow.
That's fun.
So how old was Sonny when it
7.
got killed?
What did
When it was
your mom
when it was
think?
murdered by the
7.
housekeeper?
My mom hated Sunny.
Yeah.
My mom hated Sunny.
Where did your dad get Sonny?
So what? My sister asked for Sunny for her birthday.
Okay.
And my mom was like, "Absolutely not." My dad came home with Sunny.
Oh. No discussion. Just
Also,
brought him home.
remember I had 3 cats and a dog.
Oh,
the
this
cat
is
could
so
eat
it
the
really
bird.
was a zoo.
It was fucking insane.
So did the cat try to get Sonny?
See, here's the other reason I couldn't stay at your house if we wanted to hook up is I'm allergic to cats. So as soon as I walk in, I'm like, cat.
By the
not gonna have
time,
it.
Well,
by the
that's
time
probably
we
more.
got Sunny, by the time Sunny was flying around the house, because it took like a year for my dad to be like, "Let it free." We only had one cat, Elvis.
Elvis, solid name.
And
good name
Elvis
for a
was the homie for sure.
Yeah.
Sonny was not. And my mom was livid when my dad brought home Sonny. She was like, "What the fuck? We're not giving our." My sister was like 5. We're not giving her a bird, and he was like, "No, this is the move." So the bird only ever liked my sister and my father.
Okay. Right.
Hated the rest of us.
Well, yeah, because the bird knew you didn't want him.
Yeah, and that was true.
Yeah.
I really didn't want
Right.
him.
Birds
and when,
also
Birds
carry
know
disease.
that shit.
It-
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, that's pigeons.
Are we
All birds.
birds?
Yeah, but pigeons are the best.
Yeah, they have the most disease.
character.
They're the best.
The best.
The
They're the
best.
best.
Best at getting
They're the
disease.
In an
champion-
alternate
disease
dimension,
champions.
your father and my mother are having a love affair.
Yeah.
They are. My
That's
mother
amazing.
brought home every animal in the world
father
growing
did?
up. My mother.
your mother did?
My mother has now.
Mrs. Riley, let me ask you a question.
Oh, yes.
What were your favorite kind of animals that you would bring into the house?
Well, I had a tarantula. I
Right.
had a chinchilla.
Oh, wait,
I had 2 birds.
Let's
I
go
had
back to the
3
tarantula,
dogs.
Mrs.
Sorry,
Riley.
what?
How did you find the tarantula?
Well, it was under the car and it
Oh.
needed a home, and so I brought it in, and my son ran.
Aren't
He
you
was-
worried about that?
Well, they
exact
don't.
thing?
They don't bite. They eat crickets and birds.
They're poisonous, Mrs.
No, not this
No,
tarantula.
who was
I
it?
think he was. We named him Igor.
Oh, really?
No, of course.
Okay,
Igor
what
was
else?
well. The birds were there. We
Yeah.
had 2 birds. We had
Okay.
a chinchilla. The chinchilla died though.
How did the chinchilla die?
Well, the
Mrs.
chinchilla was afraid of its shadow, so
Oh.
it went inside this little box and suffocated to
Oh,
death.
that's too bad, Mrs. Riley. What do you think about the situation with Sonny? Would you have taken Sonny?
I would have taken Sonny in a heartbeat, and I would have slept with him at night like a pillow.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you, Mrs. Riley. It's very nice to have you on the show.
This is a true story too.
Yeah, I'm
the
sure.
Igor
Yeah.
and the chinchilla and the birds
We
and
had
the dogs.
tadpoles and
Yeah,
an
this was
aquarium.
we had a fucking duck at one point.
Yeah.
We
did
brought
we
back
did the
Rubber
same
Ducky,
shit.
and it would swim in our pool. And my
That was the
mother,
name of the duck? Was
Rubber,
Rubber
Ducky, and this duck was there. And of course, I was little. We loved it. But then fucking neighbors were like, "You have a duck in your pool. Can you please let the duck
We
go?"
did the same shit. It
Yeah.
was insane.
I'm telling
it was
you.
insane.
My dad and mom both were not big animal people, right? Like we had to beg to get a dog. We finally got a dog when I was in the 7th grade, and it was my mom's best friend, right? But I loved turtles when I was a kid.
I love turtles.
I love turtles. I love turtles. So I would like find a turtle in the woods and bring it home, put it in like a little box, and like it was like a little box turtle. Put a little some like
Did you lick
lettuce
the
and
turtle?
stuff.
Did you get high if you lick a turtle?
No, the frog.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So I brought him
What?
a turtle, and then every day my dad would come home from work, and he would. I'd go to. Correct. I'd go to sleep. I'd come downstairs to like see if the turtle was still there, and the turtle would be gone. My dad was like, "You don't take care of animals, Josh." And my dad would just take the turtle and throw it in the yard.
Oh, no.
Like I don't want this effing turtle in here.
Poor
This is
turtle.
out. Like my dad must have thrown away 30 turtles.
Wow. Peter.
Turtle. I just picture that turtle after being thrown, sticking his head out slowly, like, what the fuck?
Well, because they move so slow, and it's just like, what is that like for a turtle? He's just, why am I flying?
Yeah, everything moving faster than
Really
it can
fast.
comprehend.
I like your turtle voice.
Why am I flying?
It's like Gary
So good.
Busey, but like not crazy.
I'm a turtle, and now I am dead.
We had Elvis lived until he was 23 years old
Jeez.
because for the
Damn.
last 3 years of his life, 2 times a week, my dad had somebody come and give him an IV drip at my house.
God.
This
What's
is-
in
this
the
is- This is
effing
the
F?
level of. He was insane. He found Elvis on Elvis Presley's birthday with his
wow.
9 brothers and sisters outside, all frozen
Why
to
did he
death.
name him Elvis?
Found my
Oh.
because it's the birthday. Okay. And saved Elvis, and my dad's a saver. Hence, like everything he's
Yeah,
done in his life,
this is-
and just took him and was like, "No, we'll not let him go." But like he was hooked up in this little chair to an IV.
My lord.
It was-
Did you guys visit him?
It was in our house.
Do you have like a hospice for
Yeah,
Elvis?
yes, it was unreal, and we were like, I was like, "Dad, like I get it, but you gotta let him go." Like,
Just
he's-
because I don't want them to get mad, do you think Elvis was a Force user?
Probably,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
I
Well,
mean,
to live that
he
long,
probably
there's
is
something
still
magical.
alive too. So definitely the Force is with him always. Him and Tupac.
Force
Good,
goes
good.
coast to coast.
Okay, the Force did bring you together.
I'm telling you, your dad and my mother. This is.
It's crazy because my dad's a massive bodybuilder, like rock and roll, and he'd find a little ant in the house. He'd be like, "Everybody stop! Like,
Yeah.
take it, bring it outside."
My dad would come in with a blowtorch, be like, "We're leaving."
Sleep in the hallway. Did you guys have a funeral for Elvis? Ellis? Oh my
Elvis.
God.
Jesus. Yikes.
Elvis. I meant Ellis from Die Hard. Ellis from Die Hard. Ellis from Die Hard.
My dad believes in
Hans.
cremating our animals and
Bobby.
putting them in statues that look like them.
Oh, okay then.
That is a fucking joke.
If there was ever a fucking reason that you should have been on Bachelor, it's for this alone.
Jesus
Because
H.
you remember
Christ.
we talked
the
about that guy?
hometowns.
Yeah, man, the
Elvis-
hometown. Are you kidding
Elvis
me?
is
Is he in a
inside.
statue?
He's inside a massive
Oh
black
my
cat.
God.
There's a
Did
mausoleum
you tell them
at
this? Did you tell them this at the Bachelor? On your
Are they
interviews?
listening? Can we text somebody?
Holy
Listen,
shit!
This is going to sound.
I'm gonna send this to
Sometimes it's just like the weirdness that like comes out of you in this show, right? It's like, oh yeah, my dad cremated it and then puts it into a statue.
Right.
What?
And then we ate a person afterwards.
Well, but actually, it's not true because Elvis got the statue, but my
Right, look behind you.
no, it's more
a
of
cat
like
statue.
it's more of an artsy cat. It's
Yeah.
like I mean, it's big. Like I'm talking this long.
I mean, I'm
Like,
not
It's a big
surprised?
black
No.
cat.
No,
Is
I'm
it like a
surprised. I
piggy
mean,
bank?
could I see myself making a statue of Cal with his ashes? Yes,
That's
I
great.
could.
No. This is like
we
this
get
is
in
like
and
a
out?
expensive,
Sorry.
like artsy black cat replica. of
Makes sense.
of-
Oh, that's really good stuff. Okay, let's get into some news here. Riley, there's some movie news happening. What the hell we got?
There is. Hold on. I want you to read that real quick and tell me if you want to change things up while I look at news.
Let's see.
Is Larry Hankin not coming? Because I'll cry.
No, he is. He
okay.
is. He's.
Or we
Scroll. Scroll.
We have our guest here early. So why don't we do 11 o'clock? We'll get
wanna
him
do
in
11? Yeah.
Well, no, because it's not going to
So take a break
time.
now and bring him in.
It's 10:30.
If he's
Being
here, then why don't we
asked.
do 10:30? Yeah, you know what? Well, Cody, can we take a break?
Give me 5 seconds. 5, 4,
Scroll,
3,
scroll.
2,
Scroll.
shit,
All right.
I'm ready.
So let's do this then. We'll take a break. When we get back, we'll have our guest in, Larry. Well, you know. All right, let's have him in. We'll have him in, and then at 11 o'clock, then we'll be able to talk for Star Wars.
And then we'll
Go.
take calls at 11:30.
No, we're going to go long for Star Wars. Probably no calls today. So
I tried.
it's good. All right. We'll be back after the break.
Hey guys, it's Perry here to let you know that Movie Talk is moving. We've had a great time in this 3 p.m. Pacific slot, but guess what? We want you to start your day with Collider Movie Talk, so we're moving. 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to get a longer show with some brand new segments, so tune in starting Monday, September 16th, 9 a.m. Pacific. See you there.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, you know, if you've been watching us every week, you know we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh McCouga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Riley here. Let me tell you about the Riley Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Roca, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Riley Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video on the YouTube as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
Well, hello there. I'm Ken Knapsack, one of the hosts of Collider Jedi Council, and I'd like to invite you to listen to our show, watch our show. It's on every Thursdays on the Collider Video channel, and it's also available in podcast form if you'd like to listen to our sweet voices on Collider Jedi Council, me, Christian Harloff, and a bevy guests, I say, talk Star Wars. We celebrate Star Wars. We dig into the Star Wars news. We speculate everything about Star Wars, including your questions. So join us on Collider Jedi Council. You're going to have a great time.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue Brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Hey guys, Riley here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You're looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. A new episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm Christian Harloff. I'm the host of Collider Jedi Council. We talk about everything Star Wars. It's movie news, it's canon, it's all of it. We take questions from you guys. How do you do it? Main channel, that's right here. Subscribe to this channel. But if you want to just listen to it, you got the podcast feed too. Apple Podcasts, you can listen to it in your car. Do all of it. It's Star Wars. Episode 9's coming out. And then after Episode 9, you got TV shows. So we're going to be your sports center for Star Wars. Do it. Come on. Be real.
Hi, I'm Amy Dallin, one of the hosts of Collider Heroes, and starting right now, you can catch our show Tuesday nights with a new Collider Heroes and a longer Collider Heroes podcast, where Coy and I are gonna talk your ears off. You already know that's coming. So make sure to go to YouTube, subscribe, and find us on the Collider Heroes podcast feed for all of that sweaty goodness.
The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that Horrorville podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. And on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Collider Live. We are super excited for our next guest here. You know him from, well, if you've already seen El Camino, Breaking Bad movie, or from Friends, or from Barry. And he has a book. It is the Loopholes Dossier. It is a satirical book of comic fables. It is available in bookstores and online right now. Larry Hankin. Larry, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you.
It's nice to be had.
Yeah, man. We were just... I don't know if
I can't even look at him,
I know.
Christian.
I don't know if we've ever met a bigger, or we've ever had a Friends fan as big as Roxy. So the second I said you were coming, she's like, "You better not do it on a day I'm not here."
Yeah. It's next
Friends,
level.
Yeah, no, I know that because I get a lot of my people who contact me are from Friends. I mean, the fans they're huge. Yeah, I mean. You're petite, but I mean, you're huge.
Well, I thank you so much. I'll remember that forever.
But then you switch to the right here, and you go to one of the biggest Breaking Bad fans of all time, and that's Josh McCouga. So
and me,
and you,
I
mean,
when you got cast in that, was that just like a holy shit, man?
Yeah. I mean, totally. That to be a fan of something first,
right,
and then to get a call to be on it. It was just mind-boggling.
But I mean, how many times has that happened in your career? Because you've been on...
I think twice. Once before.
Okay.
What? It'll occur to me. But like being in Escape from Alcatraz with Clint Eastwood, that was like mind-boggling. But I wasn't a fan of any reoccurring... I was just a fan of Clint Eastwood.
Right.
I mean, I was... aimed at Breaking Bad. That was it. I wouldn't miss a show or anything like that.
Now, did you want on the show? Were you like, I got to find a way? Did you call the reps?
No, it never occurred to me that I would even be asked. I mean,
really?
It was way above my pay grade.
That is so not true.
Yeah.
Well, to me, I'm looking out. You're looking at. I'm looking out.
Yeah.
And it's totally different. There's things that you like that, like Friends. I wasn't a fan of Friends. Until now. Now I'm a big fan of Friends.
Right. Well, of course, but when you look at something like what you've done with Breaking Bad, but then the movie comes out with El Camino, and do you? So how are you approach about the film in general? When do you get the call about that they're going to do the Netflix movie?
Well, it was a very first of all, it was weird from the start. I've never had a way of getting onto a show and being a fan of the show. I got a call at my home. I didn't at the time. Well, I don't have any kind of representation. I kind of
you do it yourself.
Eschewed that.
Really?
Yeah, but
you
there's
did
certain
for a while.
things. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it just got tiresome, and then I didn't want to work anymore because I wanted to make my own film. So I was in this. I was on a sabbatical for a couple of years, just making my own film. So I had no touch with Hollywood, actually. And I was sitting at home, and I get this phone call, Larry, and it was a big agency, casting agency. Oh, yeah, how'd you get my number? Well, we looked around, because it's not listed anywhere. We looked around, and we finally found you. Yeah, listen, are you available in the month of December? Yeah, why? No, I didn't say yeah. I said why. Yeah, you don't say yeah or no right away. It's, well, we can't tell you. I go, oh, and I thought, nah, this is like a really cheapo, dumb thing. Yeah. They can't tell you. And I said, can you tell me anything about it? And, no. Just, are you available in the month of December? And I go, well, yeah. And she said, thank you. Hang up.
Yeah.
I go, wow, that's really
that was
weird.
It. Yeah,
and then I waited for a day or two to see nothing. And then about 3 weeks later, I got another call from the same person. And they said, okay, there's a film that somebody wants to write you a part for. I go, okay, you can't, I don't, what's this, why is it so secret? Well, Vince Gilligan is doing, I'll do it, yeah, right, I'm there, yeah. And then they said, but that's all we can tell you. And if you're not available, you have to tell us that too, because then he won't even write the part. So that was a shock because it sounded like he was writing the part for me.
Yeah.
And so I said, yeah, but can you tell me anything more? I said, no, that's it. And I didn't know, well, maybe Vince is going to do a movie. He's breaking out, everybody wants to direct a movie, a feature. Right. So I said, yeah. And then they said, okay, just, hang in there. We'll contact you. I said, well, what's the dates? What will I get a script? When? We can't tell you anything. And she hung up again. And then, well, I've had a lot of people hang up on me, but not for the great reason. Right. Never mind. So, and then one day they said, we're going to send you a contract. I said, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know the name of the part. I don't know anything. And they said, you have to sign this contract.
Before we tell you anything.
Before we tell you anything, before we send you a script. What kind of contract? It's an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. That's like really weird.
Yeah. But at this point, do you think because it's Vince, do you think that maybe it's a Breaking Bad thing? Does it ever cross your mind?
Yeah, but when directors who direct TV go up, as they say, into movies, it's generally a different project. They want to bust out of what they're known for. So through experience, I didn't go that far. But it really, NDA, what that? Well, it was a Breaking Bad movie. They would tell me because it's Breaking Bad.
Right.
And then, so I signed this NDA, and it says, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't, and it's really weird. But I signed it, and I hesitated in signing it. It was so you can't do anything.
Right.
You can't leave your house. It was that. Yeah. And so I signed it, and I sent it in, and then about another week or two later, I got this part, and I just got my part. I didn't get a screenplay. I just got my part, and if a scene ended on the top of my page and then my part started, that was redacted. Really? And then if my scene ended at the bottom of the page, but there was another scene, that was redacted. Wow. So I only knew what I had to say and who I was talking to. But I didn't know why I was saying it, and I didn't know what happened after I said it.
Yeah.
It was kind of... So that was really strange, and I got a call to, okay, I knew it was Joe, so I read the thing, and then I got the costume call, and that was a bizarre episode because I went to get the costume, and I knew I was Joe.
Yeah.
It was the costume of Joe, and I knew it was something obviously to do with Breaking Bad, but I didn't know what the feature was about. I knew Brian was dead, his character was dead. And so I asked the costume people because they had to have the whole script because they were costuming everybody.
Yeah.
They wouldn't talk.
Wow.
They would talk about like costumes. They wouldn't tell me who was in it, who the star was, or what the narrative was. That was the no-no, the narrative. later filtered to me that the producers didn't want anybody to know. They were afraid of the fans overtaking wherever we were shooting. That was a big fear.
I heard the story of Bryan Cranston flying him in and out for the movie, which is crazy.
Secretly and cloaking him in, totally hooded and everything.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I mean, it was just bizarre. So it was a mystery. And then when I started to joke about it, like I'm going to tell, or no, they got real serious. And
it's like joking with TSA. You can't do it.
Right? I mean. But I didn't know that they were watching, and I had mentioned, because the fans found out. Again, how did the fans find out and I can't know?
Right.
That was like insulting. It was really, because they would either do it through Facebook, mainly through Facebook, and they say, "Hey, Larry, I hear you're in the new Breaking Bad movie." Am I? Is that really? What?
Right. You found out through the fans,
I kind of suspected, but I didn't know. And then they said, "Is that true?" That was how hey, I hear you're in the new break. And I said, "I can't tell you." And they would get really, "What do you mean you can't tell me?" I know that they know.
Right.
And then they started hypothetical stuff like, "Hey, man, if it is the Breaking Bad movie, then because Brian was killed, it's got to be about this person, and then it has to..." And they started to fill in what the movie was about, and I still didn't know. Mm-hmm. So I said on my Facebook page, "Well, probably, I don't know. I don't know where you guys are finding this out." I get a call from the producer. Uh-oh. "Hey, take that down." Take what down? The thing you put on Facebook, on your Facebook page. They're watching. They're actually...
Damn.
They're scrubbing.
CIA stuff.
They're scrubbing.
Yeah. So I did it I said, "Okay, fine," And then I mistakenly suggested something on my Facebook. Again, trying to be careful. Got a call, and this time they said, "Hey, look, this is legal.
Yeah.
You better stop that." And so it was kind of an unveiled threat. Yeah, and I thought, wow, this is really serious.
A show that's about criminals making meth, they can make threats.
I mean, but I've never been in that kind of situation with acting and stuff. So, I went and I did it, and that was great because on the set, there was, Aaron and Vince and...
Yeah. Did you get to find out from Vince though why he you've done so many great roles in your past? Was there something in particular that he had watched that made him think of you to write that part of Joe?
It's the only thing I can come up with, because again, I don't know how Vince casts or thinks, but one of the reasons is he wanted as many people in the Breaking Bad show. This is an assumption of mine, but just from what I picked up. Many people to be in there just for an attraction for the fans. Mm-hmm. The second thing was that he liked my character and the fans liked my character. I remember going to the premiere last week, and when I got out of the limo, they had stands in Westwoods. It was the biggest, by the way, it was the biggest premiere I've ever been to in my life.
Really?
And I've been to a lot of premieres, even movies that I wasn't in, the biggest. They had, first of all, they had 3 sets of grandstands, those fold-up things they put in, colleges, gymnasiums. They had 3 of those packed with fans, and they had the fans with the signing autographs over here. That was a whole section of fans with, everything to sign, "Sign my grandmother, please, please." and they were just throwing everything out at me. And they had, not only was it a red carpet that you walked on, but they had carpeted half of Westwood. When the cars drove down the street to the theater, it was on carpets. They had carpeted from one side from the storefront across the street to the other storefront. It was just carpeted. And it wasn't red. It was like a nice pile tan. It was very, very cool.
Like the desert.
Yeah, like the desert. It was very plush, and then... car riding on a rug. It was just ridiculous. But okay. And then you get out of the car and the fan, "Hey, it's Joe." Yeah. I mean, it's, I was like a kid.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's just bizarre. Yeah. So it was great.
Yeah,
it was just
sounds
great
like it was a lot of fun. But you also
the movie is awful, by the way.
It's terrible.
Yeah, just it wasn't worth it.
No,
you know?
it wasn't. No good.
He's kidding.
Don't call me. I
kidding.
know. It's not on my Facebook.
He's kidding.
It's kidding.
But Larry, the other thing though too that I want to get to before we lose you here today is the Loopholes Dossier. It's your book that is already out. Tell me a little bit about
it's my first book. Well, it's a satire on survival. You know, I lived in my car for a year, and I really got into what survival means. And people, I just am kind of. It's rude the way people use surviving now. You know, it's like surviving to me is in a boat in the middle of the Pacific in the horse latitudes. You know, and you're all alone. Right. You know, and you're starving. That's survival. To me, it's, hey, how you doing? I'm surviving. You know, like politicians. Politicians are a perfect example. You know, they're not surviving. They're servicing their debt. They're making their mortgage payments. That to them is survival. No, Kurds are surviving. You know. So anyway, I come from Second City and satire. So it was a satire. I picked 3 people who I wanted to highlight. A runaway 15-year-old kid who actually is a pickpocket prodigy, how he survives on the street. A politician, how each one of them calls surviving, how a politician survives, and then a homeless doggerel poet and what he calls surviving. But basically, all 3 of them are coping, which is not surviving. Right. It's kind of anti-surviving, coping. So it's a satire of how these 3 people go through their life surviving, and sometimes you do terrible things and you call it surviving. Right. Donald Trump is calling it surviving, staying in the White House. That's not surviving, but he's surviving. That's how he, calls his shots and stuff. Right. So anyway, it's I did it through. I matched the writing style to the person. Like the 15 runaway is told through 8 fables as he grows up into a 45-year-old person. Surviving. Yeah. And then the politician, I do it through the government's dossier, which is the Loopholes Dossier. Yeah. Cool. His dossier that the government has on him. All these pages. And you see every month or 2, you would see he does something else, to advance himself. And it's in the dossier. Yeah. So you kind of see the arc of his life. And then the homeless guy, the poet, through doggerel poems and an oral history. He has his little tape recorder, a digital tape recorder. And as he walks around, he reports, what he's thinking and what people think and stuff like that. But he employs that by giving lectures. His mantra is, through all civilizations, the history of mankind, we've never been able to cure or eliminate homelessness. Every civilization has dealt with it, but not got rid of it. And so he now gives lectures. He says, as long as we can't get rid of homeless, we should have better homeless people. And he rails against the fact that why do people with doorknobs not like homeless people, or people with homes, or as I like to call them, the homelessless. He calls people with homes the homelessless. And he teaches these classes in how to deal with people with doorknobs and cops and food and bathroom facilities and stuff like that. So it's a satire of what people say and do because they are, quote unquote, surviving. It's funny.
You got an interesting brain, my man.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really
do.
Yeah, and you guys.
Well, try being homeless for a year and see how you come out of that.
I'm sure. Well, you write what you know, right? I mean, that's one of the things. And so this, everybody, just letting you know that the Loopholes Dossier it is available now in bookstores and online, and we are here. Larry, let me ask you. So Josh came up with something. Do you want to?
Well, I want Roxy to ask some friends questions.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
If I don't get one friend's question, I'll die because I've been hearing.
Let's talk about Friends.
I've been hearing for years. You've talked about how you went on set, and after you guys would shoot, the 6 of them would kind of just clump together, right? They weren't necessarily.
That's kind of the style of all sitcoms. No, all series when the regulars have been on a long time and just guests come in and out. So really, you know, they just clumped together. But Friends did it incredibly well and often.
But it wasn't like you were on one episode. You were on 5. So
yeah.
by the end, was there one of them, I just need a little bit of hope, one of them that you had a great moment with or that did try to include you in anything? Any of them friendly to you at all?
No, I'm an outlier. I don't mix well. I don't even mix well with you people. You know.
I'm
I'm kind of shy. So I you know, if they're not inviting me in, I'm not going to push my way in. So I just hung back, and whenever I try to do something, it was always I said the wrong thing or did the wrong thing. You know, something. So I just kind of lay back. But the last time, the only anecdote I have about Friends that might be interesting is the last one, because you know when you do 5, that's each is a one-off. But if
I
you do
felt
6,
for you. Your house was so close. If you'd
right,
gotten to
you
that
heard.
6th,
Okay, so there you go.
What?
For a second, you know, I said I had done 4.
Right.
So you know, if I get one more, and then I can do the 6th, and then you get a huge bump up in pay.
Oh,
it's
got it.
totally different.
Because you become recurring.
Got it.
And so my agent called and he said, "I got good news and bad news." I said, "Well, what's the good news?" Good news is you got your 5th on Friends. Yeah, okay, you know that's cool. And he said, "What could be the bad news? You die in that episode." What?
Oh man.
Okay, so now in my mind, and this is really true in my mind, when he said you Friends, you got the 5th one. Well, the 6th one is pretty inevitable. I got a house.
Right.
I started to pave the driveway. And then he said, so what's the bad news? And he said, well, you die in that episode. And Friends took my house away. I had a house for 5 seconds, maybe 10. But I say that as a joke, but in my head, that really registered because I was so angry. And I kept it in.
Right.
But on the first day of on the set of the 5th show, I just walked in with a chip on my shoulder. I have an attitude problem. I've got to tell you this right now. I walked in with a chip on my shoulder, and I didn't know that this was the first day of the new season, this 5th show, or at least the filming. They sometimes, you know, mix them up. But it was the first day of the new season, so that's a party time for all sitcoms. And they invite everybody who was on the show, who's going to be on the show, all the producers, everybody in the building. They come down, and there's champagne, and there's lox and bagels. And so everybody's standing around, and I just found the 3 producers, and I headed right for them. And they were very pleasant. They were just huddled together, just the 3 of them, talking with drinks in their hands. And I just went, and they go, "Oh, hi, Larry. How are you? You know, welcome back. What did you do? What did you do? What? You killed my..." And all of a sudden, the female of the group said,
Marta.
Yeah. She said, "Larry, could we talk about this a little later?" And the lower somebody talks, the more trouble you're in.
Yeah.
And she said, "Can we talk about this a little later?" And I go, "Oh," and I suddenly realized the entire room had shut up. I mean, I shouted, "What are you doing? What are you..." And I thought, wow, and I came to my senses because I was just out there. And so I just, yeah, sure. And I kind of retreated to the groaning board table, the craft services table.
Sure.
And as I'm walking over to it, everybody split.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, this is going to be a hell of a week.
Yeah.
And I got to the table, and I'm just, there trying to, be invisible. And this kid, he's about 16 or 17, maybe an extra, comes running over to me, and he stood next to me. He says, "Dude, that was so cool." Okay. Contacted somebody.
Great.
That's my friend's story.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. When somebody doesn't know that I was Mr. Heckles, I've made it. The George Reeves syndrome. Superman. You know, he never outlived Superman.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
I'm hoping for Breaking Bad. Too.
There's so much that you've done too. I think that you've had a pretty great career. So I mean, and the fact that like Josh said, hearing your brain, the way that worked for your book sounds fascinating. So but Josh also talking about.
All right, so
this is fun.
you have 186 credits.
Yeah.
On IMDb. So I'm just going to rattle through a couple characters and see if you know what show that was on.
Oh my God.
Or if you know, we'll play the game real quick. So do you know your first credit on IMDb?
Well, it was on That Girl.
That it was. All right, Larry.
Okay. 1 point.
1 point.
Doesn't get you anything, but
back in 1977, 1978, you did 2 episodes of Laverne and Shirley. Do you remember the names of your characters or a name of either character? Because you have 2 character names here.
Wow. No, I don't.
We're looking for Biff or Tall Dancer.
Tall Dancer.
Tall Dancer.
Biff and no, wait a minute. I think that Biff and Tall Dancer is the same.
The same
thing.
guy.
Same
Okay,
one.
okay,
Okay. So there's one character.
So that's one against you.
That is one. Yeah, we'll take that one out. Doesn't count against the 6.
In 1980, you did 1 episode of this show as a character named Mickey Broadhead.
Wow. See,
So what
I don't
happened
know.
to that many credits?
I as soon
It's
as I
impossible.
finish
Like,
a
I wouldn't
show,
know this,
I
yeah.
dump it.
Sure.
So I don't keep track. I'll find out how I did by doing interviews. Oh, you were in this. What was
We were
it?
looking for WKRP in Cincinnati.
Wow, I was the bartender. So yeah, I was in. Yeah, okay,
That's
cool.
fun. I love that
Okay.
show.
Wow.
My favorite show, Family Ties. You played a character called Walter in The Year I Was Born. Do you
Oh
know
my
the year?
God.
Do you know the year?
The year.
what year was Josh born?
Yeah.
I think I know. I think I know.
No, I don't. I remember I was in jail in that episode.
Okay.
But I don't remember.
We were looking for 1982. 1982.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know when I was born anymore. I mean, I don't keep track of dates. Well, I got to tell you, I'm dyslexic and I have ADHD, so that's my excuse.
I wouldn't know.
You truly don't know the year that you were born?
No, I do. But nobody else does. Nobody else does.
Nobody else does. All right. Last one. You played Wild Mel in this comedian's famous show.
Wild Mel.
In 1986. I'll give you the year.
No, I don't remember.
We're looking for Newhart. Newhart.
My God. Okay, so now I'm going to confess.
Okay, go
Okay.
ahead.
My only answer was my only correct answer was That Girl.
Yeah.
Because I did a radio show, a podcast yesterday.
Damn it.
okay.
And they mentioned, hey, did you know that your first show was That Girl? And I had thought it was Laverne and Shirley. And he corrected me.
There you
so
go.
there you go. You're
Yeah.
24 hours too late.
Never
talked about
reveal the
it.
magician's trick, though.
Yeah.
I said never reveal the magician's trick.
Oh, right.
We were talking about this movie. You were in Running Scared, then Armed and Dangerous,
Yeah.
then Alf, back to back to back. Those were 3, and like we talked about Alf on this. We
Love
talked
Alf.
about Alf on this
Alf
show.
is my one of my favorite shows because of the shtick that I did.
Oh yeah.
I was a
burglar.
sneak thief, a burglar,
Yeah.
going through the bedroom, and they were starting to wake up. So I jumped through the window. I did that, dive.
Yeah.
And I did it. They had a mattress on the other
that's
side.
great.
Thank God. I almost missed it, but just diving through the window. And they say, "You sure you can do that?" I said, "Oh yeah, I don't care if I can. I want to."
That's fun.
Boom, and I jumped through.
It's
That's the
awesome.
only-
Larry,
So
it's a
cool.
pleasure having you on the show. Thank
Oh,
you
it's a pleasure being
so
here.
very much. Once again, everybody, go and check it out. It is available in bookstores and online, the Loopholes Dossier, and El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. It's now on Netflix. Thank you so much.
Okay, can I mention one more thing?
Yes.
Go to thereallarryhankin.com. That's my website. And you got all stuff on there about me and what I do and other things. Like
All right, I got to
films
ask you
and
one
stuff.
last question.
Okay.
Sorry, one last question. Larry David, you were the first choice for Kramer.
Right.
Dude, real quick story on what happened there. Do you know?
Okay, that was very insulting. It was great to be on, and I loved Larry David, and I was a big fan of that show, too.
Sure.
That was the other one, where
Yeah.
I was a fan of the show, and then I got invited out.
Got it.
We went
but-
full circle. We came up with it.
I auditioned. So I heard that I looked like
Michael
the real
Richards.
Kramer.
Yeah.
And,
the real
and Michael Richards.
and
No,
the real
Michael
Kramer.
Richards and I were friends way before that. We worked together on on a show together. We were brothers, so we looked together, look alike. So I went to the audition. I auditioned 5 times for that show.
Wow.
Which was an insult. To me, it was an insult. So I auditioned, and I knew 4 of the people. It was Seinfeld and 3 other people that I knew. The director and a producer and the instrument. And there was this one guy with glasses who I didn't know who the hell he was, but all he did, he just sat there quietly for the 5 times. Didn't say a word to me. And then when everybody's through, they said, "Come through the door," like Kramer. That was his big thing.
Right.
So I would go out, and you're out in the waiting room where everybody else is waiting.
Yeah.
And I knew I had the part from the get-go because everybody else didn't look like Kramer at all. There was a fat guy, a thin guy, a small guy, beards, bald. Nobody looked like Kramer and Michael except me. So I said, "Okay, go through the door. Come in, go out." And you just go out, and then you were with these people. You go in, funny. And he says, "Okay, thank you," or "Do it again." That was all he said. Well, the second time he goes, "Go out and come in." And just go out. And still, every time I went, everybody was different. Nobody looked like Richards, And I go out and I come in. And I was getting a 3rd time. He said, "Go out and come in again. Go out and come in again." But I didn't see anybody else going out and coming in again, so I'm getting I got an attitude problem. So the 4th time, and I said, "This guy's getting on my nerves." I go in and blah, blah, blah. And then the 5th time I auditioned, still nobody looked like Michael. What's going on? And nobody's going in and out. So he says, "Go out and come in." Now, so I go out. There's a secretary there because it's a waiting room. So I sit, and in my head, I said, "I'm going to unload on this guy. I mean, he's rude. He's supposed to get paid after 3 auditions, and they're not." So I go out, and just before I unload on this guy, I say to the I said, "Look, who's that bald guy with the glasses in there, man? He's really getting on my nerves." She said, "That's Larry David. He owns the show." Oh, okay, cool. I went in. "Yeah, you want me to go in again? Fine. Whatever you say, that's cool with me." I was so good.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And then finally, they called and said,
But then you played Kramer in the Jerry pilot in that
Yeah.
episode. You played Kramer in that. Right?
Yeah.
What do you mean in the pilot?
Remember in the pilot when they actually shoot the pilot on the show, you play Kramer in that pilot.
Yeah. It was a great part, and again, the 2 most famous things I'm known for is Friends, is Mr. Heckles, and Tom Pepper, the guy, the guy who may or may not have stolen the raisins. I had to sign an NDA, and I have to kill you if I tell you.
But you do know.
But no, it's in the show. Actually, if you watch it,
he stole the raisins. It's great. It's amazing.
So if you're his number 1 pick, though, how does that not work?
Some guys just want to see people come in the door. I don't know. He's weird, but if you have time for one more thing to show you how weird the guy is, but he's a genius. He really is. He comes when I was doing Tom Pepper, my first scene. I'm going blah, blah, blah. And Larry David stands on the side. He doesn't direct, but he kind of coaches. He'll say, Tom, the actual director's name is Tom. He said, "Tom, let me talk to my actor." And he would pull you aside, or the other people aside, which is really a mark of a really good director, to not give you a direction in front of everybody. He pulls you aside. And I always dreamed of that. Director pulling me. We're going to talk about the character and the backstory. And one day he comes up to me and he says, "Tom, I want to talk to Larry." "Oh, cool. I'm going to get some, gold." So he pulls me aside and he said, and again, I have an attitude problem. Always. It's just below, sotto voce. And he goes, "I know what you're trying to do." Now, that's an insult to me. How do you know what I'm trying to do? I mean, I just had, and I said that to him like that. And he picked up on it. I said, "What am I trying to do?" And he said, "You're trying to do nothing." And I was so blown away because that's exactly what I was trying to do. I was doing Buster Keaton. If you watch, I was trying to be totally underplay the whole thing. And I said, "Oh, yeah, that's what I'm doing." And he goes, "You're doing something." And he walked away. And I thought, that's the greatest piece of direction I've ever got.
That's incredible.
And then we did it one more time, and he comes running past me. He didn't even stop. And as he runs past me, well, walking very fast past me. He goes, "You're still doing it." And boom. And then the next one, I nailed it.
That's awesome. Well,
he's cool, man.
And so are you. Thank you for being in here today and
yeah.
telling us all these great stories. And get the book, guys, Loopholes Dossier, and check out El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. It's on Netflix now. Thanks again, Larry. I really appreciate it.
Great coffee.
Thank you. All right, we'll be right back after the break.
Hey guys, it's Perry here to let you know that Movie Talk is moving. We've had a great time in this 3 p.m. Pacific slot, but guess what? We want you to start your day with Collider Movie Talk, so we're moving. 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to get a longer show with some brand new segments, so tune in starting Monday, September 16th, 9 a.m. Pacific. See you there.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, you know, if you've been watching us every week, you know we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh McCouga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Riley here. Let me tell you about the Riley Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Roca, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Riley Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video, on the YouTube, as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week, we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
Well, hello there. I'm Quentin Tarantino, one of the hosts of Collider Jedi Council, and I'd like to invite you to listen to our show, watch our show. It's on every Thursdays on the Collider Video channel, and it's also available in podcast form if you'd like to listen to our sweet voices on Collider Jedi Council, me, Christian Harloff, and a bevy, I say, talk Star Wars. We celebrate Star Wars. We dig into the Star Wars news. We speculate everything about Star Wars, including your questions. So join us on Collider Jedi Council. You're going to have a great time.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Hey guys, Riley here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. A new episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm Christian Harloff. I'm the host of Collider Jedi Council. We talk about everything Star Wars. It's movie news, it's canon, it's all of it. We take questions from you guys. How do you do it? Main channel, that's right here. Subscribe to this channel. But if you want to just listen to it, you got the podcast feed too. Apple Podcasts, you can listen to it in your car. Do all of it. It's Star Wars. Episode 9's coming out, and then after Episode 9, you got TV shows, so we're going to be your sports center for Star Wars. Do it. Come on, be real.
Hi, I'm Amy Dallin, one of the hosts of Collider Heroes, and starting right now, you can catch our show Tuesday nights with a new Collider Heroes and a longer Collider Heroes podcast where Coy and I are gonna talk your ears off. You already know that's coming. So make sure to go to YouTube, subscribe, and find us on the Collider Heroes podcast feed for all of that sweaty goodness.
The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that Horrorville podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. And on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
That's a good way to start. Oh, we're back. Welcome back to Clara Live. Cody's having a blast in there. No pun intended. And Cody, Alex liked that
Are
one
we
too.
online? Yeah, okay, here we go.
Thank you. You like that one, Cody?
Good one.
Thank
It was
you.
a good one. Would you like me to read what I texted your brother?
Yeah, let me set this up. So my brother, who's listening to the show right now, this is what he wrote to me because regarding Makuga's comments earlier. So he says, I'm listening to Clara Live and tell Makuga he's wrong. If you're a resident for 10 years, you love where you live, you should support its teams. And if he wants to go root from Pittsburgh, move back to that dump. I'm kidding. I love Pittsburgh, in case you read this out loud.
And I texted him back, listen, you jackwagon, if you're born a Yankees fan, you stay a Yankees fan. The Rays are in your division. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Makuga.
And if you think my mother liked you before, if I had a sister, she would tell her to marry you. Yeah. She's going to love it. Okay. Let's.
Polygamy.
What's wrong? What happened?
What happened?
Did you say polygamy?
It was just a side comment.
Yep. There we are.
Yep.
It worked really well.
All right, so let's talk about it. Okay, it's the trailer. It hit last night. It was good. Moving on. So what else we got? No, I'm
Yeah,
just
so
kidding.
we got
I'm
Terminator
kidding.
reactions are out,
kidding.
and
I'm
what?
kidding. Let's get into the Star
I
Wars.
thought
thing.
you were serious.
So the trailer hit last night. Like I said, my wife is on my left, my 2-year-old on my left. Davos, and then my 8-year-old right next to me as we watched it. And this is what I will say as far as some of the criticisms that went that I agree with, but also think it was brilliant, was you don't get anything about the story whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah.
Because, well, and I also saw a couple people who didn't say, well, how is that good marketing? It outsold Endgame within the first hour.
Yep.
So the marketing's okay. We're going to be okay. Everything's just fine. How are you? And it's already done really well sales-wise.
It outsold Endgame
within the first hour of ticket sales.
Yeah.
It outsold the ticket price.
The pre-sales.
Pre-sales within an hour.
It outsold the
Endgame.
first day of Endgame?
Yeah, the first hour of sales beat the first hour of sales for Endgame.
Got it.
So
And crash sites everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everywhere.
All the sites went down.
When did it go up last night? The ticket sales.
Ticket sales went up before the trailer came out.
Oh, scheiße.
Yeah. So and that was again before the trailer comes out, and after it probably skyrocketed even more so. The trailer for me, what I said on, by the way, and you were sitting in Jedi Council. There's no fucking way Finn's not force sensitive now. He's
even tweeting.
I thought he was going to be force sensitive.
Do we get he's force sensitive in the trailer?
In the trailer, they kind of like they give
There's
you a little
instincts.
The force brought us together. The force brought us together, and it's his voice, and it's like,
What did he tweet?
I don't know
He
what
tweeted the same line. So John Boyega tweeted the same line
The
that
force
his
sensitive.
character says. So
he's going to be force sensitive.
teasing it.
Yeah, he'll be force sensitive. So many cool images that you see throughout the actual trailer itself. I don't know what the hell it's about, but I don't care. Did I think it was the best trailer I've seen for a Star Wars movie? No, I don't. But I think that it sums up. And I was really watching my 8-year-old. I was watching to see how she would, because she was having a lot of fun. And then when they said it's the last of the saga, she was like, I'm sad.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, there's gonna be more movies, and you got Disney Plus. Relax. But I understand what you're saying. But it got the emotion out of her, and I think the Kylo stuff and Rey stuff when they're what is that? Is that Vader's mask? What
It
the
looks
hell
like
is it?
it looks like some kind of statue or something.
Yeah,
What
it
is
is.
that's
They
like
wrap-
I'm wondering if they have the mask and they have to like go through something. The mask like activates it, and then they have to fight. I don't know.
I don't know. And
It's
then,
cool.
Then
It's cool.
you see the Ralph McQuarrie art for the Emperor's throne room.
That was the
that's in
original
there.
Ralph
Yeah.
McQuarrie art from Return of the Jedi for what the Emperor was going to be sitting on. I love that they
And
brought that back.
Now, Perry and I are having a dispute on Jedi Council. She said you wouldn't even see as much of a silhouette
the Emperor's in there.
Yeah, and even if it is Matt Smith, it's still the Emperor.
I
it's a
watched it
persona of the
again.
Emperor, yeah.
You could see him laugh. You could hear him laugh, and then it shakes.
What's your feud? She thinks that.
I said on Jedi Council that she asked what the kind of tag would be. I said they have to. I said we already know that the Emperor's in this movie. Everybody knows.
He's on the poster now. Ian McDiarmid's on the poster.
His lines are all the way through the first teaser, the second teaser, this thing, right? And I said to her, I was like, at some way, whether it's a silhouette or full-on imaging, depending on how they bring him out in this movie, you're going to see some form. She's like, no way, they're not going to do it. There's no need to do it. And I said, I think that there is a need to do it because he's as big of a part in this movie that I think he is. And it's brief. And it looks like he's hooked up to like a ventilator or something.
That's what I thought. It was Darth Vader's ventilator.
Yeah, something. And he's hooked up to this thing, but it's either him or it's him channeling himself through somebody. So,
and does she disagree with that? She doesn't think it's him.
At first she said she refused to watch what she actually said, and then there's no physical form. I said, you said not even a silhouette, and she said, all right, well if I said that, but still we don't know that it's him. And I said the point is, it's even if it's someone talking through him, it made sense for them to market him. Because he's a big part in it, even if he is from the shadows or not physical form, Voldemort style in the first 2 Harry Potter movies. So what did you think of the overall trailer, Rox?
I thought that it was fine. Yeah. It didn't need to be great for me. I'm obviously sold. There was nothing about this trailer that I felt like, wow, never would have guessed that was in there.
Right.
So it was fine. I obviously love seeing Leia. I think that always, and that hug just was like, I wanted to be a part of that hug.
That was sort of in the tease, wasn't it?
Yeah, we'd already seen it. Yeah. I'm just saying things that every time. But no, nothing about it to me was like, yes!
Right.
I just was like, great. I'm excited for episode 9.
More
I've been
cool
excited.
Images.
Yeah, cool images.
That's
cool.
That's what
Looks
the trailer.
dope.
It looked like a really good Star Wars Celebration trailer.
Yeah.
It was good images.
Yeah, cool.
But what people also aren't talking about, what they don't realize,
the waves.
No. What you never get, what people never talk about. The international trailer will come out soon.
Yeah.
Everyone's always talking about this is the last trailer. It's not. The international trailer is like the last
international trailer.
And they
TV
usually
spots.
The international trailer usually shows more shit than anybody else.
We'll get a different kind of view.
Yeah, because they're going to really market that to that audience for sure too.
But I don't mean it in any kind of way like I wanted to see more. I just thought that this was totally an adequate trailer for a movie that I'm already going to see no matter what, and I'm stoked about.
And I think that's what they were planning on doing, because when I first saw it, I was kind of waiting for that Rey moment at the end of the last trailer, that big like hook at the end, and they went more emotional. They went more just like, we know you're going to see it.
Feel good a little bit.
We know you're going to see it, and I really started to like. The first reaction was like, well, I was waiting for something. I'm a victim of my own hype, and then I started watching it. I'm like, God, it's emotional. God, that feels good. It's like the images. This is some crazy shit going on. They're riding horses on a Star Destroyer, for God's sakes.
Yeah, someone wrote space horses. I'm out, and I'm like, out of all the fucking things they have in this galaxy, they can't have horses.
We did the same thing on Rule of Two, like Fernandez and some people. I was like, who cares?
You can't have horse. You can have human beings, but you can't have a horse.
I mean,
Why?
that is mind-blowing.
Why?
It's so cool.
I get space whales. I don't like space whales. That's kind of silly. Flying space whales.
But we don't know where they are as far. We're talking about space wizards here.
Hold on for a second. You guys are missing the huge window of the horses. If you watched Band of Brothers, which I know Roxy has, the Germans tried to fight the Americans with horses via tanks. You can't fight Star Destroyers with horses.
I don't think they're trying to fight them. I think they're just trying to
get.
So you don't know what it is.
That's a different argument.
Yes.
If they're fighting against things and it's harder for them, and they're going up against Star Destroyers, then yeah. But I'm just going up against the notion of saying like they won't have horses in space. How the fuck do you know that? They have thousands of planets out there. One of those planets they can have green aliens, but they can't have horses.
I think maybe what he said is saying about space horses is like horses can't exist within the vacuum of space. But I think it's on land. I think it's a destroyer that's crashed.
No, they're talking about like because it's horse because they only have them on Earth, which is ridiculous. But anyway, this is a stupid conversation.
Right.
Who do you want to be on screen the most?
Ooh, man, that's. I mean, you gotta
Kylo
say.
Ren.
My answer's also Kylo.
I think
I think we're doubling down on Kylo Ren and Rey. It's their
It's got to
story.
be their story all together. But that also kind of couples to, you hear Leia's voice in this thing, right? And you hear Luke for sure.
Always.
Luke had one of my favorite lines, which is like a Jedi. What did he say? Is like, it's defined by your fear.
Yeah.
Like the Jedi
and you
has
learn
to
that
fit.
from Yoda, because remember
Yeah.
and failure and everything too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that last kind of imparting that wisdom. You know, Luke's going to drop in as Force Ghost Luke and finish your training.
Yeah.
Like a la Yoda in Return of the Jedi.
I certainly hope so.
We're not talking about the most choke-up moment of the trailer.
Thank you.
Which is C-3PO.
You know what?
Crushed me.
Because you know what that is, right? That's got to be because in the other trailer he's got the red eyes, right?
You're talking about when he's saying goodbye?
Yeah, to his friends.
See my friends one last
right.
time.
Well, because he's got those red eyes. Now, what I always thought was those red eyes. If you go back to the Afra comic, the other droid has the red eyes, and that's that's war mode style.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to turn that fucker into a war mode droid. And they're probably gonna. He's not gonna have the same memories that he had from beforehand. And he probably sacrifices himself, and that might be the last of the C-3PO we know.
Maybe,
and he
yeah.
goes full on badass C-3PO, which I like.
That's why he gets the crossbow on the poster.
Right.
He goes full berserker.
You never know, and there's something tied to the Sith legend in this. I think that some of the reports that you can go out there, you can do that. I don't want to get into too much speculation, but I like the idea. A lot of people too going like, oh, they're not really friends with Rey and Poe and them, and that's when he's saying that. I'm like, C-3PO is the type of dude that when he meets somebody, you're instantly a friend of his. He knows you guys, but I also like this idea that maybe
people are saying that because he's not. This is another thing.
Yeah.
Roxy and I have been friends since 2013, 2014. We've been closer friends over the last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie
Thank
takes
you.
place within a year.
Right. Lots of adventures.
From the last one. They've been hanging out with each other for over a year.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conversations. There's a lot of things that you do over a year span of time when we're not on the spaceship together every day.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like that and
No,
again,
this is our shit.
silly argument.
I agree with
Right.
that.
It's like going into these like little nitpicky things where it's like,
That's silly.
I understand.
But I wanna
understand
see a
some people need
Berserker
launching, but
3PO,
too.
I
I
do
think you're
too.
gonna get
I'm
it.
trying to think of nicknames too right now. Like, fuck off, bro.
Well,
Came close. And the other thing that we did, people will
get
say,
there,
like,
hold
we
on.
have seen him go berserker, kind of, in Attack of the Clones, but that
right.
wasn't really him.
Yeah.
It was just kind of his head was attached, or whatever that stood. And I hated that scene. But this I think that he can actually do some good stuff. But that was an emotional moment, and you can see, and it also, I think that little thing that's working on him, you know, getting him into berserker mode, if you will.
Well, there's C-3PO.
C-3PO. He's not a creep.
No, he's not.
But if he goes red eyes, he could be a
That
little
sounds
creepy.
like he's joining the Me Too movement. We're not doing that
Right,
to C-3PO.
right.
I like the fact that we saw the ghost, but we saw it briefly.
Oh yeah,
We saw it briefly. And then the Emperor's voice is another voice that's in there, heavy. The fact that he said, what's the line? It's
like you coming together as your undoing.
years I've been waiting for you to come together. Now it will be your undoing.
And I think that's what they're touching on with the theme of this, is that together we can defeat evil.
It's
and
the balance.
he thinks the
Hence-
balance is if you
hence
come together,
Kylo-
I'm getting right.
Hence Kylo being redeemed, like we knew was going to happen.
Something I did like about the trailer is it did put emphasis on and make it seem like this is the end of a massive saga, which is true, and it does definitely feel like closure, and that's in tone of the trailer, which I thought was cool.
And I hope that if they do that, then those reports of all 9 movies being kind of linked together with references from the prequels, I hope it all does kind of come to fruition.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a shot this is your favorite movie?
Out of all of them?
Yeah.
There's always a shot, but I'm going to very slim.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to beat Empire.
It's interesting how when we got to Endgame, a lot of us knew it might end up being our favorite of the Marvel movies. But I think most people feel that way about Star Wars, that this is that they have their favorite more solidified.
That goes over to the bigger argument, though, and my biggest concern and things that I've told you on this show many times is that's because Marvel had a clear-cut plan of their story.
Right.
Maybe obviously maneuvering here and there.
And it wasn't as many decades.
Right.
And
11 years from 2008
and it had
to
one
40
particular-
years
Yeah.
with Star Wars.
I'm not saying that they didn't
No,
do
I
a good
know.
job. I'm just saying it's interesting that most people probably already have theirs.
Sure.
Yeah, dude, I'm talking about the last 3 movies have been the narrative's been a little off, and it looks like it's just kind of tying it all together, and this is why they bring JJ back respect because he started the whole thing.
It's hard to, when we have these conversations, the discourse of The Last Jedi, Force Awakens, all these things, it's hard to judge a trilogy without the third movie yet. So until we get this and see how it can wrap up, maybe it does make some of The Last Jedi detractors go, well, yeah, okay, maybe.
Hold off the war that you're having with my brother.
Okay.
Yeah, hold it off. I can already tell this is heavy. I'm sure.
I want to know.
Yeah, but we'll do it after we talk about here because we got to clip this out. Remember. So
C-3PO, like a Reaper.
No.
Reapio? Yeah.
C-die-PO.
No, we're all right. We're all right. So continuing on, I think that this going off of your point with Endgame, it's that the other thing was that after Infinity War, they didn't have to show a lot in the trailer because you kind of knew what we were facing because it was a continuation of it. Even no matter what you think, whether you love Last Jedi or whether you don't like Last Jedi, you don't know where the story is going to go at all after that because we didn't know how many years it was after they're on that cruiser. We don't know what the state of the resistance was. We don't know we don't know who the good guys are going to be, who's going to be in charge, what the hell happened. We don't know any of that. So you can see where people are going to be, what the fuck is this thing going to be about? Mm-hmm. But it's also Star Wars. It also has that name that you're going to get your ass in the theater. It's not like, well, it depends on how the trailer is and what the story is about, whether or not I'm going to see it. You're going to see it because I had a conversation. I don't want to call the person out, but last night I said to the person, I was like, I don't think you should see the movie. And this is a hardcore Star Wars fan. I said, I don't think you should even see it.
Call him out. Call him out.
And I said, I don't think you should see it.
The trailer or the movie?
The movie. I said because I just don't think there's any way that you're satisfied with it. I said you're looking to not like it. I said there's just
Bibiani.
No, I'm not going to say
Mark
this.
Fernandez.
I'm not saying this.
John Roca.
But just the fact, it's like I wanted to. I goaded it just to see what they thought, knowing I didn't like it. And you very well might have not liked it, and you may have merit to do it. But I just said, why are you doing this to yourself? Because you haven't liked it, and you don't. It's like if you don't like the first 7 and 8, why do you want to see it? Mm-hmm. See, maybe you should not see it because that's one of the things I just think. Maybe you have that hope that okay, maybe I hated 7 and I hated 8. But maybe 9 will be good. But can you get past the fact that you hated those 7 and 8 so much that would weigh into your liking of 9? Or you just might not like the movie.
I'm seeing an echo here with the prequels. People hated The Phantom Menace, hated Attack of the Clones, and then Revenge of the Sith.
Right, that's true.
They really liked.
That's true.
So we could be seeing another...
So maybe they're thinking that this could be their Sith.
Could be.
If they're prequel, if they look at it that way.
What if he changes gender and it's she-3PO?
Okay, Josh.
CP3, go away.
No,
you guys are killing it. I mean, I'm sorry, I meant killing the killing
like
the conversation.
freedom, like William Wallace, freedom, free PO, free PO. No.
Yeah, thank you, Cody. Cody, what do you think of this trailer?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Thank you, Cody. Okay.
I kind of felt like that was the general Twitter consensus. Pretty cool.
It did what it did.
Yeah.
It did what it did. I think that it's gonna. What I said from the get-go with this movie, and I still believe it. And I don't use this as a bad word. This is going to have a lot of fan service, and it's going to get people. It's going to be a fun movie. That's what Star Wars has been missing a little bit. It's going to be fun, and I think there's going to be lightsaber fights, and I think there's going to be references to the other movies. There's going to be characters that you love.
Easter eggs all over the place.
Easter eggs.
Is there going to be a joke in the first 5 minutes?
A joke is okay. You're just
asking.
There'll probably be there'll be a Star Wars joke.
A Star Wars joke in the first 5 minutes.
There'll be a joke that feels like Star Wars and not Marvel. Yes, I think that they absolutely. And J.J. Abrams was also guilty of some Marvel humor in Force Awakens. Not as much as Last Jedi, but I also think there's other stuff that can
Opening
work.
scene, if you had to guess.
Oh shit! I think it's going to be Rey running through and jumping off that thing.
Oh no!
What?
You don't want that?
You don't want that?
What
It's the
happened?
one thing you know how I feel about.
Oh, her running.
I don't like her run.
You
don't like her run?
But you know that's
It's not like Phoebe, though, you know?
Yeah,
It's like she has a better run than Phoebe.
But you know that, what are you, making an insult on her?
Yeah.
You know that spot where she
Yeah.
jumps over the TIE fighter? I think that's the first thing. And it's clearly not going to be Kylo. And by the way, speaking of that whole silhouette thing, I don't necessarily think that is Ian McDermott. It very well could be Matt Smith. You didn't see Matt Smith. You saw Dominic Monaghan briefly.
Yeah.
with
What's he
Rose.
playing?
He's like
a resistance fighter.
Which bumps me out. I thought he was going to
Not
be a Knight of
Penny's
Ren.
boat.
No, not at all. We've had him on. I had him on one-on-one.
I would die for him.
We need to bring him.
Jesus, take it easy.
Yeah.
Can't.
Well, he told me that because he before he was
get him
cast,
again.
he is a massive Star Wars fan, and he's friends with JJ, obviously, also, and he's a great actor. All those things combined, he got himself the role. And we've emailed a few times, and he said after the movie he would come on. So
He's my favorite character from Lost.
Man,
is he really?
He's up there
Yeah,
for
my
me.
number one favorite.
Yeah.
What if he makes like a big jump and it would be C-Lee-P-O? Or a cheese brand called C-Brie-P-O.
So let's get back to the Emperor here.
I don't care. I'm trying to make puns here.
I know.
But did you like? I mean, you
It's
reacted
It's
to.
fine. All the Star Wars movies are fine. Like I like them. They're good. I enjoy them. It's a cool story. I want to know why they're fighting on the interstellar planet with the big waves. Like the Death Star fell into waves.
The Death Star would fall. I mean, so are we saying which Death Star? It's the second one.
It's the
right?
second one,
So
and
where planet is it? Is it Endor?
Listen,
The moon of Endor?
yes.
Or what?
Here's what I even think that she's training on Endor.
The moon of Endor.
The moon of Endor. Yes, the moon of
If
Endor.
we don't see Evan Ewoks, I'm gonna lose my effing shit.
Because when I was that guy last night, put it on Alexa, listen to some of the sounds at the beginning of that trailer, and I'm like, I think that's one of the Endor birds.
You can put a trailer on Alexa?
Well, I can hook it up to my phone, watch the. Yeah, actually, you can.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to listen.
Wow.
Well, I feel like you would get whole new things.
Yeah, it was cool.
What was your least favorite shot?
Your least favorite?
The end shot. We were talking about it yesterday. It's just her holding a lightsaber.
Yeah, I'm going to actually echo that. I think that he could have ended with her talking to the silhouetted Palpatine. That would have been pretty solid.
I mean, that's kind of where my reaction,
They're leading with hope,
it's a
though.
little let down because I thought we were getting that last shot where you
like,
go,
whoa.
whoa!
Yeah, they're
And this
leading with
was-
hope. They're leading with hope.
Yeah, but as you come back around, I like that emotional. The woe for me was the final Carrie Fisher. Always.
Yeah, so there's no Luke in the trailer.
No Luke in the trailer except for the voice.
You don't need him. You don't need him in the trailer.
Ray's so emo in it too. It's just like
You think so? I
Ray is so emo.
What are you doing?
What?
Why?
What do you mean?
Star Wars is okay. It's fine.
It's fine.
Ray's
What do you
emo.
want from me? I fell asleep during Last Jedi. I fell asleep during Force Awakens.
I mean, come
What's
on.
the deal with that?
You like Solo?
What's the deal?
I
with
love Solo. I love Rogue One. I like the movies. They're
It has
fine.
a line. It's a saber.
I don't understand.
Who's your favorite character?
Laser
all
sword.
time
In Star Wars.
in Star Wars? What's her name? Felicity Jones in Rogue One.
Oh. Yeah. Moving on.
And Han Solo because he's like, I don't fucking care about the Force. I'm gonna shoot some people.
Like Josh.
Yeah, like you. Okay, well, that's our discussion on this. So you guys make sure, I'm sure you already have been commenting furiously if you're watching in the live chat. If you're watching this on the clip out, also give us your thoughts, what you think, what could happen, what do you want to see happen. Did you like the trailer? Do you think they showed too much, too little, not enough plot? Go ahead and let your voices be heard. Now we're going to go back into the other movie stories because there are a ton of them. And what do we leave off with? We talked about something up top. I don't remember.
Did you guys have? Did you have DP Dough at your college? Did you have DP Dough?
No.
Did
Oh
you
yeah.
have-
Tell me. Bring up the text thing. What happened?
DP Dough was an all calzone restaurant at,
sounds good.
at Penn State, and it was fantastic.
Okay.
And I was thinking of free DP Dough. You know what I mean? Like as
It's
a
good for
promotion.
food.
I
You
was
should
thinking
sell it at
if they
Galaxy
did a
Junction.
Marvel crossover and Groot came, C-3PO.
Oh, that's not bad. I'll give you C-3PO. So he said, I was born a Yankees fan, and I've become enlightened. Ray, FYI, they aren't a fish anymore. They are rebranded. Keep it up. Pirates suck. Penguins suck. Steelers suck. There are no Pirates in Pittsburgh. No Penguins, and all the Steelers moved out. Big fan. And then I said, this is a great exchange. What's a Ray? A man named Ray? You're cheering for a man named Ray. I haven't heard that.
I haven't heard back.
Yeah.
It's good. No, my brother will. You picked the
Fire,
wrong person
straight
to argue
fire.
with. You'll be arguing with him for the next 6
Did
months.
you already have his phone number?
No, I gave it. Oh yeah.
Oh, yes, he's a great guy. He wins with no budget and slap the rich kids around.
My brother will scrap with you if you want to scrap.
That's great.
Okay, listen. There's some other stuff. The first thing is this Will Smith thing.
Oh, man.
So
What happened?
Will Smith, this is the headline that I have here, and Riley can go into it. Not even two Will Smiths could save Gemini Man for a $75 million loss.
Yikes, Rooney.
Yuck.
Yep, Gemini.
we were talking about bad
Gemini
boys.
Man definitely bombed.
Yeah, big
it's
time.
I don't think it deserved that. Did you
It's-
guys see
well,
it?
Yeah.
I know you did.
I haven't seen it.
I was sitting next to you.
Yeah.
I was right near you. I was in the same row.
That's why I said I
There were
know
two
you
of them.
did.
Oh. I was same theater.
You would think that the women on our row would have saved this movie. They would have gone 75 million times
Those
at
two
least.
next to us.
I'll go back to my argument originally for Gemini Man. Is I watched that trailer and it left me with zero emotions. I don't know what the movie's about. There's no backstory. There's nothing like that's really drawing me into making this different from something it looked like a mix between The Mummy, A Bourne Identity, all these other action movies amalgamated into one with
So you know exactly
fake
what
Will
it's
Smith.
about.
Yeah.
This movie,
I think you know exactly what it's about.
Right.
Yeah.
You could tell and that's the thing. It's pretty. Besides the gimmick of young Will Smith and old Will Smith, it doesn't have anything, and it's a good movie to put on Netflix. But because of the budget, how much it costs, you can't put it on Netflix because you need to try to make a profit in the theater, and that did not happen. But this is a movie that should have been on a streaming service and not in the theaters, or not made at all, because it's just not a good script.
This is crazy too. It's been around since the 90s. It originally had Clint Eastwood in mind for the lead role. It's changed directors numerous times. At one point, Nicolas Cage was attached.
I want to pay to see that.
Man, this movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in anything in so long.
So presumably added.
Do you think if Nicolas Cage was in this, it would have made more money than Will Smith?
No.
You don't think so?
Doesn't matter.
Maybe back in the
same script.
Maybe back in the face-off days, it could have been
right.
You know what I mean?
Sure. And
that's where it could have been.
You put Will Smith in this movie in 1996, and we're talking about a huge hit.
Yeah. And this is when it was in development, the 90s, the heyday of these kind of movies.
The
movie was totally fine. It was fine.
Was it one of those movies you're like, I don't know why this got made? Or was it just like...
I think it got made for the de-aging and how cool that was.
Yeah, I don't know why it was made for the budget it was made for,
Yeah.
and why it was released as if this was 1996, and that this is the type of movie that is doing well in theaters right now, because it's not. You can look at it and say, the only way that this movie is going to crush is if people walk out and go, whoa, this is the next Inception, or this is like this. It was
Word of
smart.
mouth.
It was interesting. It was crazy. It was like a new Matrix type thing. That's the type of movie that you hope it would be, and that's the thought that I went into it. I'm with Roxy that I didn't walk out going, "What a piece of garbage," but it wasn't good.
Yeah.
It's just not a good movie.
It was a movie.
It's just a
It's
movie.
good enough to watch.
Yes, and that's not what you want with the movie that much.
It's like nice kid, no bid.
I can see that on the poster.
Yeah, you're not like walking out going garbage. You're just going, duh. All right, we watched that movie.
Yeah, $140 million budget with $100 million marketing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and it was goffish.
Woof.
Goffish. All right, what
That's
else? What else?
brutal.
Is next?
Well, back around to Star Wars, the runtime has been revealed.
Oh, what is that?
155 minutes is now officially the longest running Star Wars movie in the saga.
So it's just an hour. What 135? And
So
it's
about
two hours,
2.5
35.
hours. Yeah.
2 hours and 35 minutes, and what Last Jedi was 227 or something.
So The Last Jedi was 152 minutes, so it was 3 minutes less.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad. So
all right, that's good. That's good. I'm
How
happy
many
with
minutes
that.
were spent on that gambling planet?
Too many.
Bite, way too many.
Too many.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know anybody who's really in love with that.
Even me, who is a Last Jedi defender.
Me too.
That's when I fell
It's
asleep.
hard to.
I didn't hate it as much the first time I watched it.
I didn't
The-
either.
The
It's
more
hard
I
to
watch
revisit.
it, yeah. it's
When
hard.
I've revisited
'Cause
Canto
after-
Bight,
when you know the end game and you're like,
Why are we here?
And Benicio del Toro is one of my favorite actors. He's
Wasted.
What a waste of a character. And that silly stutter that they let him do in that movie, it's just so pointless. It's so pointless.
I love it though.
Oh,
I
it's
love that he did
so
it.
He's like
pointless.
drunk. He's drunk. Captain Jack Sparrow walking around Disneyland. It's not
Yeah,
even
he
the real
really
Jack
is.
Sparrow. It's
Yeah.
a fake guy. Just like
That's what I was actually hoping for in that movie, by the way, because my daughter is watching it now because we give it like a special treat. Like before, when the baby's trying to fall asleep, we watch a couple of minutes of a movie, and we were watching Last Jedi because I want her to see it before we see Rise of Skywalker. So as that scene pops up with Benicio del Toro, where they're trying to find the master codebreaker, and what's his face from Left
Justin
Over,
Theroux,
who I love. What a silly thing! Oh my darling, what are you doing? What is that? What is that? And
you think that's his fault? Though?
no, absolutely
okay.
not. It's like, oh, no, not right now, my darling. I'm like, what fucking movie is this? And as I'm watching, it's so bad. But what I would have liked to happen with that little...
That was more Fifth Element than anything.
It was so Fifth Element. What I want to see turn around there, what I was hoping was going to happen as I remember watching in the theater and then watching it again, the master codebreaker that she was talking about should have been Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he got himself caught, he somehow Thoreau got the plume and all that stuff, but Del Toro was the actual guy. He was the Kaiser Soze and the guy who got him in. Instead, it was
what about Lando? Shouldn't it have been Lando?
Lando should have been in that. He should have been the one that they keyed into when they talked to him. Not Maz in that video game scene when she flies up talking about how she used to like that creepy scene where she's like, "That's not the only thing he's good with his hands." I'm like, ugh, gross. That whole scene.
Maz fucks.
Yeah, and by the way, Poe is an imbecile in that movie. Poe is an imbecile. This is again just revisiting again, and I like the character. He's an imbecile. He's the reason that everything wrong happens, and he loses the whole freaking fleet. And if he just doesn't send doesn't send Finn and Rose to that whole thing, they escape off the planet and nobody ever knows.
Ray, Finn, Poe, fuck, marry, kill.
Ray, what? Excuse me.
Alex liked that one.
Yeah, I can't answer this because it's the only girl in there, and it's going to be.
So you're gonna marry her?
I don't know about that.
So you're gonna fuck her?
Probably.
Wait. Who are the choices again?
Ray,
Can I
Finn,
recuse
and Poe.
myself from this?
Yeah,
I'd like
exactly.
to recuse myself.
I'll play.
Yeah.
Cody?
You go. Go ahead.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna kill Ray.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna marry Finn and bang Poe? I don't know, actually.
I didn't even know. Okay, so you good.
Alex?
Good game.
What's going on? What's going on?
No, you're too busy playing your games back there.
Oh,
all right.
Not my game.
Let's move on now. But that's good. Runtime longer at 2:30. I dig it. I think that's just a good enough time. People are talking about 3 hours. No, thank you. Because Endgame did it doesn't mean Star Wars has to do it.
Right.
And Josh has to try to stay awake, so anything over that.
As long as possible.
2:30 is good.
Kind of depends on when I see it. Like if I see it earlier in the evening and I've had a few iced teas, then sure, I'll probably stay awake. Like I didn't fall asleep during Jojo Rabbit because I really love that movie.
Josh, would you rather this be a 90-minute movie?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
How dare you, sir?
I mean, what's next?
I mean, 2 hours is good. 2:35. Now we're getting into like the
No, it's the last movie of the saga.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
All right, what's next?
All right, we have we have a Disney release that's also looking not so good at the box office when it says that Maleficent, Mistress of Evil cost $500 million to make.
Get out of here.
This
That's
is what
a
they
real
are
number
saying.
with the marketing
This
budget.
is what
it's
there's
half a
with the
bill.
marketing.
500. What'd you say?
So $500 million. This is what the
What?
so listen to this. Yeah, $475.
How
So
could that movie have cost that much to make?
With marketing budget
It did
above
look.
the lines,
It did
talent.
look amazing, but that's insane.
That's $475 million for a movie. What?
$185 million production budget.
185.
185.
Okay. All right.
And then we get to, let's see.
She'd probably cost a lot.
So
How
cost
much?
means it'll have to grab
20,
at least
30?
$475 million worldwide to break even.
Oof. That's the entire international gross of the 2014 original.
Mm-hmm.
I never understood the
That's brutal.
about the sequel, but the funny thing is that the first one did pretty good, right? And so maybe
5 years ago.
it made sense, right? But it made sense to try. But yeah, it was that's pretty.
I really
that's not
liked this
good.
movie.
I know you did.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I really liked this movie, but I mean that's just way too expensive.
Way
you can't
too
You can't
expensive.
spend that kind of money
Holy
on
shit,
Maleficent too.
No way.
Even though it's number one, it kind of went under projections. So $36 million in opening weekend.
Oh, brutal.
That is pretty.
36
that's
opening
36
weekend.
for domestic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Remember,
bad.
I said somebody asked me this, and I said I thought that this had a shot of making a bill.
So
Because it looked
international,
like that kind of movie, right?
international, it opened to
chance.
117 million, but we're not even close to that 450 million.
That is
yeah.
woof.
And then you're going to start hitting November where the big movies come out, and you're going to start getting scrapped.
This
here.
thing's already going to be lost next
I
weekend.
think that they thought
Yeah.
that they were going to do Maleficent 3.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. I mean, you saw.
I'm
the
saying
movie,
that,
so,
yeah.
Do we think that
not
this
for
is
sure,
like-
but I think so.
Let me ask you guys a question. Do we think that this is like a product of the fact that like Angelina Jolie has kind of alienated a lot of the common moviegoer? Is like, she's weird.
No, because I think that she still had that when she made Maleficent 1. That made a lot of money.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't think people were really.
Maybe.
This didn't.
But the
this-
movie
this
star
didn't
doesn't-
stick around in the zeitgeist. You know what I mean?
That's more the thing. The movie star. It's not because Angelina Jolie is in it.
Yeah.
Means shit. It's a matter of does people care about Maleficent? Is the bigger
Yeah.
question.
Are we talking about it as far as when you
Yeah.
think of the Disney, I guess, renaissance of these live action remakes?
Yeah.
We're not talking about Maleficent. The most I think everybody kept talking about was Jungle Book. Jungle Book, everybody kept talking about it because the way it looked.
Yes,
and then,
but you want to hear the funny thing also is this is the same thing, and it's the argument of the original versus the remake, right? Look at the original movies that are different. And in Dumbo, we talked about this yesterday with Dumbo. Dumbo, that story itself is original. Like they have maybe a slight element of what the movie is, doesn't do very well. Maleficent 1, which is supposed to be based off of what people thought we're gonna see, basically what they saw with Cinderella and they saw with Beauty and the Beast. They thought that, and it does very well. The sequel, original, spins off of that completely, doesn't do very well. Right? Cinderella, pretty much based off it, does well. Beauty and the Beast, based off it, does well. Lion King, whether you liked it or not, crushes. Aladdin, crushes. People, we're simple souls.
Yeah.
And no matter what, well, people want to see original shit. Apparently not. Because now Mulan, I think, will do very well. Yeah. And it'll be different.
I think that's
What's
a different,
this?
whole
What do you
different
got?
thing.
This is the cat.
Oh, who's your brother? Would your brother?
No, I made my dad send it.
Yeah.
That's that's crazy. So that's where your cat, his ashes are in that cat.
Yeah.
All right, send that to Cody and you can put it up on the screen.
There's two pictures.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Anyway, so it's
No, I'm with you, man. Like there was absolutely no buzz. Maleficent's not one of those characters that like my nieces love. It's just it is what it is, and the parents aren't like, man, I can't wait to see my kid take my kids to some dark fairy tale.
No, Sleeping Beauty though, if they would have done. See, the thing is, if they would have done Sleeping Beauty, I bet you would have made even more money. But what they did, they got allure. They got seduced by the power of the movie star. Oh wait, Angelina Jolie is going to play Maleficent. Oh wait, let's do it. And then the first movie did pretty well.
Sure.
So this doesn't surprise me that the second one bombed out.
But pretty well.
It was a big hit. The first one.
Okay.
First one was a big hit.
See, I mean, I didn't see it.
I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
I liked it more than you did.
Yes, you did.
But I like this one better than that one.
That's what I hear, and it might well be a pretty damn good movie. I just think people don't give a shit after all.
I think so too. Is like when the trailer came out for like Snow White and the Huntsman, right? Nobody gave a shit. The movie did and then they did another one.
Right? Well, they tried to
did
bank
fairly
off
well,
of Thor.
yeah, and then
that one.
Right.
Yeah, they tried because that was big. Thor was a lot bigger at that point, and still no
I
one's
sent
gonna.
it to you, Riley. I don't think I have Cody's number.
It's fine.
Okay.
Riley, what else have we got?
Patty Jenkins announces that the Wonder Woman 1984 trailer is going to premiere at Brazilian Comic-Con and it's going to debut for the world. So get ready for that.
Isn't Gal Gadot? Oh, she's Israeli.
She's Israeli.
Yeah, right. Okay, so
which I'm trying to find out
It's
when.
which Comic-Con?
Brazilian.
Brazilian. So that's December 8th, 2019.
That's this.
Doesn't
Okay,
Frosty
so we'll
usually
get
go to
a.
that? Like Frosty sometimes goes to that.
Yeah, he does. All right, so we're going to get ourselves this trailer
Get
for,
our
for
first
Wonder
look,
Woman.
finally,
That's
yeah.
interesting. So we'll be able to talk about that when that comes out, and that's December 8th, because they'll release that online right afterwards, I assume. Okay, let's see. So,
and did you guys see the Bloodshot trailer for
no, I
Vin
missed
Diesel?
it. You guys saw it. I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's
Is that
all
any
right.
good?
Yeah.
I just saw what's his face getting blown off. What's
Well,
happening?
it's based on the comic book. He has like nanotech technology that keeps him like if you get shot, the nanotechs build it back together. He can. Right,
But he's
But like
Wolverine.
mixed
rip-off
with
Wolverine.
He's Wolverine.
mixed with Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Groundhog Day
yeah.
meets the what's it called? Meets Wolverine because he's at one point like strapped into something. There's the parrot. He's way more entertaining than that Bloodshot trailer.
Right, turn around.
It just looks like another movie that looks like another movie that has looked like another movie that's also another movie.
See, this
wrapped in
is
another
a
movie.
definite spoiler too.
The bird.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so what's his name about Quentin Tarantino?
And then Quentin Tarantino. Yes. So China has blocked the release of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, why?
For whatever reason, they've done this with some of his movies before. So they asked him to recut it in order to release it in China, and he
You don't
says,
think it's
"Nah,
because of the Lee stuff?
could be, yeah."
Not sure. Maybe. But yeah, but nothing specifically.
Reported, let's see, there was an explanation. It was never really given to Sony Entertainment as to why the release was halted.
But they've done this a couple times, Tim, so it might not just
Yeah,
be
but
Bruce
Shannon Lee, daughter of Bruce Lee, to your point, strongly objected to the portrayal, but that doesn't really say if that's it. China pulled Django Unchained from theaters, unhappy with its graphic violence and nudity back in the day. So he's taking a hard stance that he's not going to recut it.
Good. I'm tired of us being subject to China's will. Like, look at the NBA. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The NBA is in this ridiculous maelstrom of absurdity because one guy tweeted that Hong Kong deserves to be free. No shit, they all deserve to be free. They're living in a communist regime. It's bullshit. But because we have $4 billion invested over there and movies can't make any money unless they go to China, we're fucked. It's stupid. I'm with Tarantino. Don't recut it.
There you go.
Yeah, Sony had the desire
Thank you, all right.
to cower
You know
to
what?
the Chinese in
I-
hopes of mitigating the impact. They couldn't, judging by China's overwhelming positive opinion of Leonardo DiCaprio. Once upon a time's absence from the market means the studio is going to take a significant hit.
Well, there you go.
There it is.
All right, let's
I don't think he cares.
Who?
Tarantino?
No, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Why does he doesn't give a shit. I mean, you know, the studio probably does because he probably makes some money. But maybe not. Maybe his movies don't make that much money over there. And they're like, yeah, we'll take the hit. Who gives a shit? I'm not changing my movie. And that's how it goes.
Good on him.
Yeah. So, because
Don't
Cody,
change
how
it.
much has that movie made so far just in overall? Curious to see. I would guess and say, I would say maybe a little over 120 million.
I mean,
overall. Oh shit! I'm an idiot. 366 million worldwide. They made 140 just domestically.
Good for
Look
him.
at that. Yeah, so he doesn't need that.
Also-
shit. It cost $90 million to make.
just going back to what Josh said for a second.
Sorry for yelling.
No, it's so fucked up what's going on
No
in China
shit.
right now. It's so
No
fucked
shit.
up, and people need to educate themselves on
Yes.
it because it's like insane and hard to watch.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that the Chinese government could try and tell Adam Silver to fire one of his GMs, that's not how it works. It's not. It's just not. It's so stupid. And the fact that LeBron James came out and sort of defended China because he wants to make money off Space Jam 2, give me a fucking break. It's silly.
And listen to more of that on the afternoons, I think.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. It's just so effing silly. It's so silly.
Yeah. Okay, listen. That's the show. Thank you for joining us here today. Thank you for listening to us talk about Star Wars and other things. And thank you for Larry Hankin for coming in and talk about the Loopholes Dossier, El Camino, Breaking Bad movie. Thank you all. Make sure, once again, if you didn't know, December 7th, downtown LA, the schmodownlive.com. The schmodownlive.com. We're going to be the Schmodown Spectacular. 5 big matches. We're going to do a big fan expo, which is like a mini Schmodown Con. You get to meet all the competitors and people there, too. It'll be a lot of fun, so come see us. Thank you to Roxy and Riley and Makuga and Cody and Alex and the whole damn crew. See you tomorrow.
I like turtles.